What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliate and scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Y'all ever had a pet peeve, like if you see extra lint or something like that on your shirt, you got to get it off? That is one of my pet peeves. But what's happening, friends and family? It is Monday, May 29th, 2023, year of our Lord. And you know we don't miss, so I don't care if it's a holiday. Holidays don't really apply to me. I'm going to be honest with you. I think holidays are absolutely stupid. They allow for people to be able to basically take work off and not do nothing, which takes away from the productivity of what it is that we got going on in society. But I actually like them. Like, I think that it's stupid for regular people, and I think that it's phenomenal for people that's entrepreneurs like myself, because what it allows for me to do is really to get ahead. But anyways, we'll get in it in a second. What's going on, friends and family? I see my dog Quentin. Quentin is going to be on the show tonight on Monday on my other channel, because, you know, I am a slave driver. That's what they call me. That's what the white man called me on Friday. He called me a slave. I'm a slave driver. So Quentin will be working tonight, helping to host the panel that we have on the other channel, the Anton Daniels channel. I see all of my friends in here. What's happening? Classy Beats, Ray, Natasha, Kojak, lots of my friends. So let's go ahead and get into the show. I got my barber coming by. I'm slaving him out because I said, listen, I'm not going to be going into the week. Starting this week looking dusty. I got to get this gray up out of my beard in order for us to be able to do what we got to do. What's up, Heather? Heather said I'm feeling ecstatic that this will be my first holiday off in years. Well, Heather, I don't believe in off days. I believe that holidays is an opportunity for us to get ahead. But I'm going to shoot you a little bit of bail, Heather, because you're a woman. And so, you know, women need their time off. Y'all need y'all little personal time and all of that other type of stuff. But let's get into the show, because I got a full show for y'all today. Fresh from LA, right back. Why y'all keep saying that y'all like the salt and pepper beards? Huh, Natasha? Why y'all be saying y'all like the salt and pepper? I don't know why y'all like the salt and pepper beards. I don't understand it. I'm not interested in it yet. Give me another 9 years. When I turn 50, I'll switch over and I'll go completely gray. When I turn 50, I'll go completely gray. But as of right now, it's not happening. Not right now. Anyways, let's get some housekeeping out of the way because I got a full show lined up for you guys. And I expect it to be inside of our studio today, but I'll get to that in a minute. First and foremost, shout out to Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. If you're using any other Teach pack or if you've never signed up for Teach Hanley, go ahead and get that 30% off and a free gift and then see how awesome it is because I use it. My skin is absolutely incredible. You should use it so your skin can be incredible. Ladies, if you want to do something nice for your man, make sure you hit that link in the description to make sure that you're looking absolutely phenomenal and not looking like a dusty. 30% off your first order. And if you have any other Teach pack, get rid of that shit. Come and roll over here with Anton from AntonDaniels.com and we're going to get it popping. Also, make sure you tap into the Patreon. My expectation is today or tomorrow, finishing the editing process because I definitely did not sleep over this weekend. I had friends over that said, Anton, you can't sleep. Was recording, shooting multiple shows. I was driving all the way from Venice over to Newport Beach in order to capture all of the material for you guys. So, Patreon video dropping this afternoon or tomorrow now that I'm a little bit more settled and I have the holiday to be able to make sure that the edits are perfect so that you guys get the most information possible. If you are not a bag chaser, if you're not a Patreon member, you are really missing out. For all of my friends that's going to meet me in New York for the next meetup, that information as far as the date and the location is updated inside of the Patreon. Make sure that you give me some insight of whether or not you're going to show up so I can prepare accordingly and make sure that the venue is able to accommodate all of us because our last meetup was absolutely lit. Dallas, y'all showed out. One of my favorite places to visit. I love you, Dallas. I love everybody that came out and visited me. I had my friends show up. So that's going to be awesome. So shout out to all of the bag chasers. Shout out to the Patreon members. I appreciate you. Also, make sure y'all tap in for comedy night here June 9th, Detroit. I am going to be there. Charleston going to be there. Jay Will going to be there. Cookie going to be there. Josh Adams going to be there. It's going to be lit. It's going to be beautiful. Y'all know how my events are. My events is high class, quality standard, absolutely phenomenal places to be at. If you are going to be in the city in Detroit at the Garden Theater, and y'all know the Garden Theater is dope, make sure you come through June 9th. We got two shows. We got a 7 p.m. show and a 9 p.m. show. Hit the link in the description and make sure you get your tickets. It's going to be phenomenal. So shout out to y'all for that's coming up. To comedy night. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I appreciate my dog Charleston for coming through. Let me read a couple of the super chats before we get started. I see Quentin got jokes today, huh? You got jokes today, Quentin? I might pop up on the panel tonight. Quentin said, I need a day off, massa. That's what yesterday was for, so that you can get some rest. And then you can come up on the panel and be able to do what you need to do tonight. Shout out to Quentin. Whoopi Rock said, I got my gray hair at 57, and I am not ashamed, Anton. Is better than a fake look. I'll take the fake look. I'll take the blacken. Give me some little bit of dye here, a little bit of dye there. My mom once said that every building need a little bit of paint. Every building need a little bit of paint. So we're going to get this dyed out. We're going to get this fixed. The beard is going to be phenomenal. When I do the live show tomorrow in the studio, y'all going to be able to see the difference. I'm going to go ahead and wait my turn. All right? Yeah, man, it was great. This weekend was great. I'm trying to figure out if I got any other housekeeping. Investing in Business series, bag chasers, Patreon members. I'm gonna be giving out seed money for y'all to be able to start y'all business. Unlike DJ MV, but we're gonna get to that in a minute. Let's get it popping. It's Monday. It's Memorial Day. I don't miss. I get it going. So over the weekend, actually all last week, it was a couple different things that I seen. The first thing that I seen was DJ Envy and Rick Ross, right? And DJ Envy and Rick Ross was going back and forth about the car show, and it started getting a little bit heated. But for some reason, I was thinking to myself like, I don't know why Envy is starting to get this immersed in personal back and forth with people. People like DJ Envy, they better on the surface, right? And I'm going to tell you the thing that I see happening with a lot of people that they're making a huge mistake for. Both content creators and traditional celebrities, right? Because we're starting to blend the two. And what I'm starting to realize is that I'm starting to get more recognition and more visibility than I thought, right? A, people like DJ Envy just need to rise above it because they not built, in my opinion, to be able to communicate effectively enough to go back and forth with people. Even though I personally say all visibility is good visibility, but if you can't handle it or your inability to be able to communicate effectively is starting to show as a result of it because you've been propped up by the platforms and the systems and the machine that's behind you in order to continue to increase what it is that you do, you're going to be in trouble. Let me say that again. You're going to be in trouble. So it's War of Words with Rick Ross, in which my opinion, Ross is kind of battle tested because when you're a rapper or you've been through the things that Ross has been through as far as his wars with 50 Cent, going back and forth and even being accused of being a cop and all of this other type of stuff, and then to come out on the other side of it still richer than ever, that shows that he a little bit more prepared for it. But then I seen this thing come out about DJ Envy with regard to fraud, right? So this is a little bit different, and I'm gonna deep dive in that in a minute because I got a full show lined up for y'all. But what I've learned is that everybody is not built for the limelight, and eventually, what goes on in the dark is going to completely come out in the light. What I like to do personally is live my life like an open book. And one of the reasons why I like to live my life like an open book, and I love and I embrace being criticized, is because once you get done getting mad and criticizing and all of that, I still live my life like an open book. See, whether you like me or whether you dislike me, whether you like how I talk to people or not, you can't ever dispute the fact that I live my life like an open book. You know who my family is. I come out to meet you, right? I talk the way I talk because I'm confident and I know that I don't have any skeletons hiding in my closet. And it's just easier that way. Life is easier not having to worry about all of that other type of stuff that come along with it. I ain't got to worry about no hoes. I ain't got to worry about no allegations. And let me also say this. One of the things that I also encourage y'all to do, if you notice, it's funny that this is all coming out and playing out the way that it's playing, right? When I did the original Invest in Your Business series inside of the Patreon, make sure y'all sign up for that. When I say the fact that I don't sell any courses, I'm going to tell you why, okay? The Invest in Your Business series, anybody that's received funding, I see Natasha's in the chat. I absolutely sent her some money in over there to get her business started. I don't take a percentage of what other people do. Even with regard to the Lapeef Network, right? When I was over there on the Lapeef Network and we were partnering with that, I stayed away from the money and the contracts aspect of it because I don't like to do business with everybody. I like to there's nobody in the world that can say that I owe money. It ain't one person in the world that could ever say, yo, I gave Anton some money. He owed me some money as a result of it, or he promised to do one thing on this and then he didn't deliver or anything like that. I operate completely above board and in a silo when it comes to doing business. If you ever come out here and you meet me, or if I do business with you, or you a contractor, even when it comes to the properties or anything like that, we get the contract signed, I pay you the money, and that's the end of the conversation. Now, you may not fulfill your obligation, and so we might have a problem on that end, and I'll deal with that behind the scenes. But my point is that even when it comes to investing in your business, the business series that I'm doing inside of the Patreon, I don't want no part of your business because I don't want the going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you got going on in your personal life. I may see you when you rocking in and coming in and getting the information what it needs to be a bag chaser and become more successful financially. But I don't know what you got going on. You might be slapping up your chick, and then that comes back to tie itself back to me. And so even when I'm coaching people, I tell them, I said, listen, I need to know that you actually want this, and I need to know everything. I need to understand you first because your character is going to keep you when you get to the money and you become successful. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back. Your character, and I absolutely love myself, TJ. I adore myself. I love myself Let me put this up here. I love myself enough to put me first. I'm going to get to that because I keep telling y'all to be selfish before you selfless, but we're going to get to that in a minute. Your character is going to keep you when your money and your talent and your work ethic takes you places. Because the character is the thing that's going to keep you. It's the thing that's going to keep you from doing something slimy. It's the thing that's going to keep you from not getting greedy. It's the thing that's going to keep you from cheating on your chick. It's the thing that's going to keep you at a level of dick discipline. That's what character does. And so when you get coaching sessions with me, you got to get the whole thing. Because then I tell them, I said, listen, if you go out there and you say you got a coaching session with me, you then become a reflection of me, right? So when it comes to that, when it comes to business, when I do this investing in business series, I just give you the seed money. I give you the information. I give you the seed money. I'll let you do what you do. One of the reasons why I've never, ever or I've ever put out a course, sold a course. And let's be clear, selling courses, there's nothing wrong with selling a course, right? Giving people the information for them to be able to level up, it's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But I stay away from it because it's gotten such a bad rap. I also am not interested in putting together a course because I just don't have time for that. I'm not doing that. I don't feel like it. It's just not a part of my business structure. I don't care about that, right? But I stay away from it because it's gotten a bad rap by so many different people that's trying to get a quick profit off of it. So I just pivot away from it. You'll never ever see me sell a course simply because I just think that it gets a bad rap, right? Again, nobody can ever say that I've ever taken any money or I've owed them any money or I've ever done bad business. You can say that you don't like how I get on black women. White people are starting to get super mad and in their feelings because I say that a lot of them is poor. You may not like that I cuss and then I call myself a Christian at the same time. Cool. But you can't never, ever question whether or not I'm above board when it comes to taking care of business. Not one person ever. Call me what you want. Don't call me broke and don't call me slimy. You know what I'm saying? And again, that whole thing, when people say, man, Anton, you love yourself. I absolutely love myself. I love myself to be selfish before I'm selfless because you can't do anything for anybody until you first get yourself together. Being selfish is also protecting yourself. And this is what I tell guys all the time. Y'all keep trying to be for everybody and be associated with everybody. Then you start catching shots and shrapnel as a result of aligning yourself with people that may not be doing things on the up and up. Your friends that you tied to now is going to get you jammed up when you become successful and distance yourself from them in the future. It's people that people try to reach out to that I'm not even like, think about it. Your homies is doing something slimy, right? Now you think it's all cool and dandy right now, but you're not thinking 10 years from now. So then you become successful later and you ain't even got nothing to do with them, but they gonna say that you was in the car with them when they was doing the drive-by shooting. You know what I'm saying? I have no time for that. I have no time for that. When I see you, it's what up, let's have a good time. I rock with you, but if I don't know your character, if I don't know who it is that you are, if you don't work for me in some kind of professional capacity in which I can vet you effectively, I'm gone. I'm gone. Whenever we did the Patreon, not the Patreon, Patreon is different. When we did the Lapeef shows or whatever, I came in, I did what I needed to do, 6 o'clock in the morning, literally. Both times, 6 a.m., I'm on the first thing smoking. No after parties. They not paying me for that. I didn't get paid to go to the club, so the club can't get my patronage. No extra brunches in the morning. I ain't getting paid for that. You know what I'm saying? The venues is not sending me a check for that. So if it ain't above board and if it ain't taking care of business, and I'm saying this for y'all, I always use myself as an example so that I can emphasize to y'all how it is that y'all need to be moving. Cut the shit out of your life. It's people around you that's going to get you jammed up. It's people that's doing slimy stuff around you that's going to get you jammed up. And it ain't going to be enough, especially in 2023 and going forward, for you to just say, oh, man, that ain't had nothing to do with me. Nope. Your girls is going to get you divorced. Your homies is going to get you locked up. Stop letting people just ride in your car and you know that they dirty. And then you're going to say, well, it wasn't my gun. Well, you shouldn't have been rolling with the homie in the first place. You getting yourself in a position where you're going to get jammed up. I don't fuck around when it comes to the money. I don't mess around when it comes to the business. I don't mess around when it comes to my freedom. Money, business, freedom. I don't fuck around. Say whatever you want to say about the rest of that shit, but I ain't never going to jail for you. I ain't never losing my bag for you. And I'm definitely not fucking up what it is that I got going on with my family for you. Anything else, say what you want. But when it come to that, my freedom, my money, my family, fuck you. If you ain't paying me, I'm keeping it moving. That's how grown men move. But we gonna get into the show because it's a lot of people that got problems. I got a whole show for y'all. So make sure y'all get the likes up. I appreciate y'all. I will be reading super chats throughout the show. Thank y'all for holding me down. Whoopi Rock says, you don't need paint, just do you. Nah, Whoopi. I'm getting this beard dyed, and it ain't nothing that you gonna tell me that's gonna change my mind today. Maybe tomorrow. But today, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Before we get into the whole DJ Envy thing, though, y'all, news, President Biden and McCarthy allegedly strikes a tentative deal on the debt ceiling, all right, on the debt. So obviously we know that there's a whole lot of talk about, shutting down the government and all of this other type of stuff. But let's deep dive into this, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I want to break this down for y'all a little bit so y'all can absolutely understand what's going on, because I don't want y'all to just look at it from the perspective of, oh man, fun stuff, DJ Envy and all of that. You need to know what's going on in the government that's going to affect you on a day-to-day basis. So let's deep dive into it.
We begin with that major breakthrough in Washington. President Biden spoke late today at the White House about finally striking a debt ceiling deal with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Biden saying it avoids the worst possible crisis, a U.S. default. Now, after weeks of tense and sometimes bitter negotiations, Biden and McCarthy still have to clear one more critical hurdle, getting both the Senate and the House to approve the measure before the country runs out of cash on June 5th. And we are dangerously close to that deadline. And tonight, some hardline Republicans and Democrats are slamming the deal, upset about some of the concessions made. So getting votes in the House and Senate may be difficult. We have team coverage tonight. ABC's Jay O'Brien is standing by on Capitol Hill. But we begin with ABC's Elizabeth Schulze from the White House.
So before we go into this, let me help y'all to understand something. So some of you guys don't care. Some of you have been living under a rock. And then some of you just automatically assume that certain things is going to get done based off of the historical significance of the debt ceiling. Oh, we got to get it done. We got to get it done. So you'll see the wrangling back and forth. You're going to see the doomsdayers that say, oh man, if the debt don't get done, it's going to be catastrophic. It'll get done. All right. But one thing that I want to say is that when you start to look at this and you start to pay attention to what's going on, you got to understand that we have a process in place for the United States that basically allows for us not to have a dictatorship, A, and then B, it's supposed to be checks and balances in place, which is why you have your different legislative branches that have to approve what it is that's being done by the president, by the House Speaker, so on and so forth. So when you see things play out, then they have to pass it over to Congress. And then what they have to do is the same thing that you have to do on a regular basis. They have to go out and recruit in order to get the votes up that actually helps pass through what it is that they negotiated. So they go back and they say, hey, guys, Democrats, what do you guys want? What is it that we need to do in order to ensure that this thing get enough votes to pass through? And then McCarthy and all of these guys got to go through and say, hey, Republicans, what do you guys want? And then they go back to each other and they start to negotiate, and they supposed to compromise. I think they all in bed together. But you got to understand that each individual person that's in these legislative branches, especially the Congress members, have to supposedly go back to their constituents and the people that voted them in order to ensure that they get what they want within that specific section of who it is that they're promising something to happen. So when you see these Congress members and they go up and they getting reelected and they going out and they pitching and they talking to their constituents and they talking to the different people and the lobbyists and all of these large companies that then send them money and back them. They have a vested interest in seeing this thing get successful. So they're going to try to voice their concerns. They're going to try to hold the president and the House Speaker over a barrel in order to ensure that they get what they want, because everybody is incentivized now. Now, remember what I said. It's supposed to be checks and balances in order to ensure that everything runs well. So the president just can't come in and he's bought out, or he's being controlled, or he only looks at things one way as far as Republicans or Democrats or whatever, and then he's incentivized to do something, and then as a result, a whole bunch of other people suffer as a result of it, right? But what's happened is that as these checks and balances get into place, different people are paid and bought for. And so it turns from being checks and balances to how much money can we pillage and how much money can we get as a result, whether it becoming reelected or being incentivized or so on and so forth. How much money can we get out of this thing, or how can we look good to the people that we represent, because the people that you elect is usually just a reflection of the people that vote for them. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is that checks and balances have turned into checks and balances, checking accounts, and how much your balance is in your checking account. It's supposed to be checks and balances as far as like protecting the people, public servants, and it's turned into checks and balances. Let's continue.
Tonight, with the world's most powerful economy at stake, President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy finally striking a deal to prevent the U.S. government from running out of cash to pay its bills.
The agreement prevents the worst possible crisis, a default, for the first time in our nation's history.
Do you wish you had started these negotiations sooner?
No, it wouldn't make any difference.
Biden and McCarthy clinching an agreement that would lift the nation's $31 trillion debt ceiling for 2 years through the 2024 presidential election, while also placing new restraints on federal spending. The 99-page
$31 trillion. That is America's debt. So basically, when they say the debt ceiling, they're saying the available amount that the U.S. government can owe. So if they raise the debt ceiling, that means that the government would then owe more money, right? Which, if they default on that debt, then it becomes catastrophic on a global scale, right? And so they're negotiating how high the debt ceiling should be. If you reduce the debt ceiling, then that would mean that the federal government would have to reduce spending. Now think about this for a minute, guys. In every other space in your life, right? Debt is bad. I mean, in every single space in your life. If you have credit card debt, we rail against it. If you have student loan debt, we rail against it, right? The more debt you have, even biblically, owe no man nothing, right? But we exist in a society where we've justified a debt ceiling because everybody is only focused on what they can get out of it instead of what best benefits the nation as a whole. And all you're looking at when you look at these legislative branches, when you see all the wasteful spending, when you see an inability for us to even be able to manage our finances as a country, what makes you think that you're not incentivized to mismanage your finances as individuals? Because again, the people that are in office is a reflection of the people that voted for them. When you see everything that plays out, banks are too big to fail, you should go and get a 30-year mortgage. They're incentivizing you to operate off of debt because that is literally how it is that we're running as a nation. Let's continue.
Bill released late tonight. Both leaders admit they made compromises.
It doesn't get everything everybody wanted, but that's in divided government. That's where
It never does it?
where we end up.
Sources tell ABC News the budget deal keeps most federal spending roughly flat next year, raising it.
So, most federal spending is flat, meaning that there's no haircuts in the federal government. If you ever want to go into a secure space where you just want to have a good job, you largely don't have to worry about ever getting laid off, you're not going to have too much of a big bag as a result of it, go work in a legislative branch or go work in the federal government. Go work for the state. Go work for the city, something like that. The one thing that they do that you don't ever have to worry about happening at your regular job, because if your job don't start making money or they start going into the red, they're gonna lay you off. If you want to just have a job to where you can probably retire comfortably if you pour into your 403B and all of this other type of stuff. Go work for the federal government. Spending roughly flat, meaning that they're not reducing the amount of money that they're spending on the federal government on any level. Social programs, military spending, the whole 9 yards.
By 1% in 2025. Defense spending would increase.
Now, why is defense spending increasing? What people don't understand is that the U.S. military is literally the very thing, not only that keeps us safe, but keeps the debt in place. I'll get into that in a minute if we got time.
Would increase. Also included new work requirements, putting time limits on how long some Americans up to age 54 can receive food assistance. Sources say the bill would also preserve Social Security, Medicaid, and veterans benefits.
How confident are you today that this bill will pass on Wednesday?
You're going to have Republicans and Democrats be able to move this to the president. The president agreed with this bill as well.
But hardline conservatives like GOP Virginia Congressman Bob Good are already accusing McCarthy of too many concessions, writing, quote, "No one claiming to be a conservative could justify a yes vote." Tonight, the deal's negotiators on defense.
And you know what they're gonna vote? Yes. Because it's all posturing. Even the people that label themselves hardline Democrats or hardline Republicans or hardline conservatives or hardline liberals, it's all posturing so that when they come later and they try to run for president or they go for re-election, they're going to say, I stood up for you guys, and everybody else just, it's all a finesse. It's 100% a finesse.
This is the most conservative spending package in my service in Congress.
Some Democrats also skeptical.
And I think it is really unfortunate that the president opened the door to this.
I'm anything but a clear yes vote at this point.
With the default looming until the president signs a bill,
these are people's lives.
Single mom of four Megan Hollinger in West Virginia fears
What? Not the single mama, that's a white woman. The white woman that's a single mother, you don't see that often that's promoted within these black spaces. But oh, let me tell you, there are more single white women than you think it is. But let's continue.
delays to her critical Medicaid and food assistance benefits.
So there are other bills that either are going to go unpaid or we're not going to eat.
Now look at her background, y'all. Look at her background. Single mother. When you look at those low ceilings, you know where she at. Wood cabinets, bunch of kids on Medicaid assistance, and sitting here talking to ABC, talking about, well, if they don't pass this, then we're not going to eat. Victim Olympics much? Listen. This woman right here is the face of America. This woman right here, let me rewind it so you can see her take a picture with her kids. You see all of those munchkins? Having those kids out of wedlock, not doing what she's supposed to do, now depending on the federal government in order to ensure that she can feed her kids. Had 4 of them, can't even feed them. Sitting here holding people accountable for making sure that she get her Medicare and Medicaid and her food stamps. This is the face. Let me show you another picture of her, because I know a lot of y'all like to get food. Y'all get fooled, not food, F-O-O-D, F-O-O-L, fooled. This is the face of America right here. A poor white woman having children out of wedlock, voting, probably a feminist and a liberal, determining what's happening in your elections. It's the truth. There is nothing more true about it. And listen to her talking.
In West Virginia fears delays to her critical Medicaid and food assistance benefit.
Fears delays to her food assistance benefits and her so she getting free health care and food assistance, having children out of wedlock. Black men, you're not the only ones that's catching these L's. I've been telling y'all about white people all over the last 2 weeks.
So there are other bills that either are going to go unpaid or we're not going to eat. I mean, it's just as simple as that.
Then don't eat. Don't eat. They're going to say, Anton, you so hard on these people. Anton, you so hard on the women. Black women think that I'm hard on them. No, I'm hard on people that are irresponsible and not doing the thing that's in their best interest, breaking up their homes, not making smart decisions, but don't mind opening up their legs to continue to have children that they then require us with our tax dollars to have to take care of. Then don't eat. Oodles and noodles. Beans and cornbread is the only thing you should be eating right now. I want your kid to have a unhealthy, non-nutritionist, no nutrients, no vitamin diet because of your inability to do the thing that you were supposed to do. Don't eat. We should not continue to raise the debt ceiling because you don't know how to be responsible and you keep opening up your legs and you keep thinking that it's our responsibility to take care of you. Don't raise the debt ceiling, lower it. We need to lower it by about $500 billion every single year and force these hoes not to be able to feed their children so that we can hold them accountable and maybe they can stop having children out of wedlock and then forcing us to pay for it with their tax dollars. Don't eat. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Go back to ramen noodles and beans. That's my solution. That's my solution.
Real life consequences for so many. Elizabeth Schulze joins us now from the White House. Elizabeth, how is the president responding to criticism from his own party that he made too many concessions in this deal?
Lindsay, President Biden admits that not everyone got what they wanted in this deal, but he does insist that it protects key parts of his legislative agenda, like the Inflation Reduction Act. Still, the reality is that for months, the president said he would not negotiate on the debt ceiling. Clearly, this was a negotiation. Lindsay?
Clearly. All right. Elizabeth from the White House for us. Thank you. President Biden and Speaker McCarthy are trying to sell that deal to skeptics in Congress as we careen toward that June 5th deadline. ABC's Jay O'Brien joins us now from Capitol Hill. Jay, walk us through what happens next.
Yeah, Lindsay, both sides of the aisle sprinting to sell this deal tonight. Their first test will be on Wednesday when the House votes. Sources tell ABC News that a small group of House Republicans have already returned to the Capitol to try to drum up support here. Meantime, President Biden.
Just like I told you, it's just a dog and pony show. They all going to say one thing, and then they're going to return to the House after they get off vacation to try to get the votes to make sure that they can get this thing passed through because they already know it's in. That's what. Come on, man. Come on, bro.
Is trying to get moderate Democrats on board, which would be crucial if enough House Republicans vote no on this legislation. The White House briefing members of Congress tonight on the finer points of this agreement. Now, if this deal passes the House on Wednesday, it could go to the Senate as early as that same day. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer telling his colleagues tonight to be prepared for a vote as late as Friday, even that weekend. And that would be down to the wire, especially.
Ain't it amazing how every single time that we have these conversations about the debt ceiling and negotiation, it always come down to the wire? Yo, ever since I've ever opened my eyes and picked up my head, my chinny chin chin off of my pillow, what I've seen happen every single time is that it always goes down to the wire. Are you telling me that our legislators are unable to come to a conclusion to ensure that we can operate as a nation, and every single time it come down to the wire? It ain't nobody that we can find to do a better job than the people that we got in office. Nobody. Every single time it come down to the wire. Partisan agreement. Those are key terms. Negotiations. Some give and push. Hard line liberals, hard line conservatives. Every single time it go down to the wire. Listen, man, I'm going to say it again. For these white women that have multiple different children and multiple different baby daddies that don't work enough to actually be able to pay for them, kids often at times pay for the sins of their parents. It is not anybody else's responsibility, including the federal government, to ensure that your kids is feeding themselves. It's your responsibility. Get up off your ass. Either go get back with the man that you had children with, all four of them, or go and take care of them yourself. But I'm tired of how it is that we see things playing out in society that's not conducive for the direction that we going in. All right. So just a little bit of a sprinkle and the insight on what it is that's going on in society for you guys to pay attention, because I don't want y'all getting finessed. I don't want y'all getting bamboozled. And I don't want y'all to think that Anton is not on top of things as far as continuing to ensure that we keep these people accountable and we taking care of business. So let me read a super chat really quickly before we continue. My dog QBZ, shout out to QBZ in the building, says some people don't realize that defense spending includes making loans to Ukraine. They will owe us forever. What is GB? Paid off World War II debt to us in 2006. That is true. Also, y'all also have to understand that maybe I'll do a breakdown to help y'all to understand how financially, why we have to fund and give so many billions of dollars every single year to the military. And it's not just to protect your freedoms. The incentives behind why we are giving Ukraine so much money. Maybe I'll deep dive into that. I don't want my stream to get flagged for me actually starting to get into and telling the truth. But if y'all want to go into that talk one day, y'all let me know and maybe we'll deep dive into that. Let's continue with the show. I want to deep dive into DJ Envy. DJ Envy. All right. So one of the people that I first seen this from on YouTube specifically was Tony the Closer. All right. Now, Tony and I have had our little disputes, but nothing major. Nothing nothing personal. All right. Just to give you a little bit of a brief history of what my thoughts are on Tony specifically. Never really caught my radar. Never was anybody specifically that I thought was good or bad. Just really indifferent. I looked at him as a content creator. Never bought anything from him. He's never really interacted with me until Charleston White. Charleston White had some dealings with it. He felt a certain type of way about the things that Charleston was saying at the time, and that Charleston was saying them on my platform. And so me and him had our little bit of a tiff, and we went back and forth, and then, it flew under the rug. It didn't mean anything. He was in my comments a lot, so I blocked him. And then now that I didn't have any visibility into what he was saying back and forth to me on Instagram, he went about his way and I went about my way. But specifically, I've never felt any type of way about Tony in particular, because he's never done anything that I felt warranted for me to actually do a whole show on. But Tony the Closer is obviously one of the people that blew the top off of this thing, as far as I know. Now, I don't know for sure, but Tony the Closer seems to be at the forefront of the person that is in front of this thing. Now, I seen on the plane, because I had Wi-Fi on the plane, I seen on the plane that Tony the Closer had appeared on Pocket Watching with JT, who was my guy. He had appeared on Pocket Watching with JT's platform to have a conversation and break this thing down. But allegedly, let me give you the skinny, as I understand it. And I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. Shout out to Service USA. Allegedly, DJ Envy's partner, and I think his name is Caesar, okay? Caesar allegedly have been having some bad dealings. Now, how does that affect DJ Envy, right? DJ Envy has been running around talking about real estate and his real estate portfolio and empire and all of that, right? Now, never mind all of the dumb stuff that DJ Envy has done before, because DJ Envy talk greasy about Kevin Samuels. I'm not really talking about Kevin Samuels at this point, because I want to let him rest in peace, right? DJ Envy got on and seemed real beta when it came to how it was that he was presenting himself in front of his wife. Has nothing to do with what it is that we're talking about today. But DJ Envy, and I observed this, and I tried to see how he was going to play it and whether or not this stuff was going to fly under the radar, but he just talking. He is just talking. And instead of him shutting up and letting this thing play out behind the scenes, because people are fickle and stuff go away. And so instead of him letting it play out in a court of law or ensuring that, you know, he was largely untouchable by letting his homie or whoever it was that he was doing business with take accountability for it. He decided to cam up with Tony the Closer. So I am going to play that, and then we're going to react to it specifically, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts as a result of it. Make sure that you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. I have not seen the video because I like to react to stuff in real time. I have not seen the video, so I'm very interested. But I don't think that he should have did anything. I don't think that he should have went on any platform. I don't think that he should have explained himself. I think that he should have stayed above it and then just let it play out the way it play out and kept doing what it is that he's good at. But he tried to do what we're good at, such as talking online and having a conversation impromptu instead of letting his producers guide him. And so he apparently jumped on Tony the Closer's Instagram. Let's see how that played out. Hold on, let me fast forward it to see if I can see when DJ Envy jumped on.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's going on?
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming in, man. Mad respect for you taking the time to come and really address some very serious allegations head on. Obviously, you got a huge platform, man. I came
to talk about my car show this weekend in Memphis, man.
I'll let you talk some car show shit, because but people really want to. We can bring up the car show, but
what you ask, what you want to ask. Ask what you want to ask. Ask what you want to ask, my nigga. We good.
But tell us about the car show.
Don't it sound weird when DJ Envy talk tough a little bit? Like, ask what you want to ask, my nigga. It sounds incredibly weird when he talk like that, because it's just like, yo, I don't know. Let me stick to this. I'm gonna stick to what it is he's talking about.
Talk about the car show, man.
I'm just messing with you.
Come on, let's give you the car show.
The car show tickets are selling. We ain't got to worry about that. Let's talk about what you want to talk about. Well, first I want to say, I seen the live that you did, and I thought it was whack. First of all, and I'm gonna tell you why I thought it was whack. And you can ask me whatever you want.
All right, let's go.
And the reason I thought it was whack is
I can already tell DJ Envy in his feelings,
because you know me. You've been to my seminars. You spoke on I think a seminar or two.
No, I never spoke.
You never spoke, but you've been to a seminar or two, and you know that we did those seminars to teach people how to do real estate. And
Tony said, "Nah, I ain't never spoke at your seminar." But I will give Tony credit. Like, he just be chilling. For the most part when it comes to how he's presenting himself on here right now. He's just chilling.
And to encourage people how to do real estate. So the fact that you said it was trash was kind of weak, especially when you know my number. We just spoke many times. But I get what you're doing. But like I told you earlier on the phone, because we spoke a couple of times. I said, me and you, we alike in certain ways because we like to expose the fake shit. And that's one thing I say. I don't like when people take advantage of our people. But go ahead, ask away. Let's go.
Let me say this. I hate when people, and again, this is one of the things that I've been beating into y'all head, and y'all seeing that I'm right now, right? When people use the whole narrative of our people, for me, that's an instant red flag. I don't care if you DJ Envy. I don't care if you Dr. Umar Johnson, Roland Martin. Who else do I be getting on? What's my name? Boyce Watkins. When I see people say our people or my people, that's a red flag for me, because you don't care enough about people more than you care about your pockets. See, I'm a bag chaser. I'm not here just for people. I'm here because hopefully I add enough value into your life to where you can actually buy something from me because you see the additional value in that, and then you benefit as a result of it. So we both make money, right? You get something as a result. It's just like any transaction, right? In a marriage, it's transactional. She's coming up as a result of you being the man that you're supposed to be. You coming up as a result because you can then leverage her in order to continue to raise your children or whatever. It's transactional. If you go into a restaurant, you paying them money, they giving you great food and service, hopefully. And if you see the value in it, then you'll return, right? I'm here for the fucking money. I'm going to entertain you. I'm going to give you the value. I'm going to do what it is that we do on a regular basis. But when I see people cloak themselves, acting like they're here just because I want to help people, it sounds disingenuous to me, because ain't nobody on here just because they just having a good time. Just be real. Just keep it 100. We get into the money. Hopefully you get some value and some entertainment as a result of it. Cool. But when I see people talk that my people shit, that is an instant red flag for me. Let's continue.
Man, first off, man, I've never been at one of your events as a speaking capacity, but I came to the big event that you had at the Javits, which I said on the live, I said, yo, first off, you packed that bitch out. I came in and my initial impression was very impressed. I said, I've never seen people bring people together for that scale for financial literacy. I thought it was one of the most amazing things I saw from a wide-eyed lens, right? To have our people, Hispanics, Black, you know, all in the room getting education. I'm like, yo, that's dope as fuck. I mean, I'll be transparent. Coming
it was trash yesterday.
Now hold on, let me finish. Now I'm gonna finish.
Go ahead.
Coming into I was expecting to get some information and some knowledge, and I felt like it was a lot left to be had when it came to the information piece. It wasn't filled with game that I expected to get from the.
So Tony the closer is saying, I went to your thing. I admire the fact that y'all was able to market effectively and be able to pack it out. But then at the same time, I felt underwhelmed with the amount of information that you gave us, because it wasn't as fruitful as far as giving us insight as I thought it was. Now, to be fair, based off of what I think Tony is into, because Tony is into real estate himself, allegedly, as far as I know. I don't know his business dealings. I'm not perpetuating that I know what his business dealings are or whatever. But I think that he's into teaching, and if I'm not mistaken, Tony sells a course on real estate, right? And again, I don't think it's anything wrong with selling courses. And just because you get a course don't mean you automatically going to be successful, because you have to do the work also and implement the information and technology. I've never seen Tony's course, so I don't have an opinion on it one way or another. But I think that, to be fair, it's very difficult for somebody like Tony to make an assessment on the information that's presented, because Tony is a little bit more advanced. Based off of optics, he's more advanced than what the traditional or the person that knows absolutely nothing about real estate. So if you don't know anything about wholesaling, if you don't know anything about hard money loans, if you don't know anything about mortgages, if you don't know anything about PMI, if you don't know the difference between flipping and being a long-term investor, if you don't know anything about REITs, if you don't know anything about institutional investing, then, you know, if you're just coming in this from scratch and you don't know anything, then it could be fruitful for, and again, I haven't been to any DJ MB stuff. It could be fruitful for you to get a base understanding of what it is that he does, what it is that's being presented at the seminar. However, just shooting DJ MB a little bit of bail, Tony, the closer, being a lot more seasoned in this thing, is probably not who the target audience was that DJ MB in his seminars was trying to target. But let's continue.
It was more like, hey, here's who I go where I find my websites at. Here's where I go to get hard money lenders. But it wasn't real estate knowledge. And here's my problem with a lot of these situations is that very big platforms like yourself, man, like so many people respect your platform. You are a celebrity. You got millions of people that listen to you on a daily basis. You got a partner of yours who is accused of some very serious allegations. Millions of dollars have been alleged to be scammed at this point, right? I want to ask you first and foremost, when we start looking at these events, which starts becoming a marketing funnel, right? People start now coming into mentorships. They come to these events to be able to get game. But then most of these events, there's that same thing that you talked about that you don't like, the upsell. See, because I pay attention, right? You had a major problem with people who had live events and then they didn't teach much information, and then they do these upsells for higher mentorships, et cetera, investment opportunities. Well, it seems as if that's what's now happened with you.
I know that I'm muted, y'all. I'm listening. I'm reacting. I'm watching it and reacting in the same way that y'all watching it and reacting. I know that I was muted.
Caesar, because now you're hearing the same exact thing that you said that you didn't like, which was these very outlandish prices as far as mentorships.
Shout out to Tony the closer for being able to get this up out of DJ Envy. He figured something out. He on his way. He might have figured out his niche on his YouTube streets.
And plus $1 million plus people saying they've been defrauded out of money. So I'm looking at you and I'm saying, hey, you got a large platform. How are you any different than with the people that you said you didn't like? The other people that were frauds.
Well, for anybody that hasn't been in my
So Tony is breaking down the idea of or what we like to call upselling. So upselling is, let's say for example, you have a seminar and you bring people in and then you give them a basic amount of information or very, very base level information, right? Which is cool. And then you just offer them additional services as a result of it, right? So then you say, okay, listen, you come to my seminar, I'm gonna teach you how to do real estate. Oh, okay, cool. You come in, you get a base level of information, and then you say, all right, listen, if you really want to get to the bag, then you're going to have to join my mentorship program. Or if you need coaching, I got some additional information, and then I'm going to expose you to all the stuff of how it is that I made my millions of dollars. That's what we call upselling. The ability to be able to generate more revenue than you originally generated from the actual seminar itself. And so that's what Tony is talking about.
Seminars. The reason we created these seminars was because we wanted to teach people about real estate and get them into real estate without spending $10,000 like a lot of these seminars were doing. My whole idea was if you have $10,000, I'd rather you use that $10,000 and try to put it into a house, a property, or whatever it may be. So, you know, my real estate thing, you say you didn't learn. I mean, hey, that's you. But the seminar, what we did was we brought people to the seminar that they would need. I brought auction.com, which is a site where people go to get properties from, and it taught them how to go on that property to buy properties. They didn't have to pay for that. I brought Matt, I don't even know what Matt's thing is, Matt the lender. And what Matt did, Matt helped people get loans, talked about FHA, talked about property without paying extra. We had hard money lenders there that told people about hard money lenders. And
so let me tell y'all what a hard money lender is, right? Hard money lenders basically charge you a lot more interest. Now, some people would say that's predatory. It's not. It's a market for hard money lenders if you understand. But this thing is very, very intricate. And this is one of the reasons why I have to assess where you are in order to give you insight on what you need to do from a real estate perspective, because I don't know what you're trying to do, right? If you're trying to become a flipper, but then you don't have the capital to do so, a lot of people tap into hard money lenders in order to be able to finance their business. But the difference is that you got to move that property. And if you don't move that property, then your holding costs as it relates to holding on to the property, whether it be from the mortgage and the hard money lender that you then may have used in order to finance your flip, can absolutely destroy you if you don't understand your market, if you don't understand the flip game, if you don't understand the property values that surround it. So it's a very intricate process. And so when you start to have conversations with people about real estate and money, it's not as easy as people think it is. So many different people have went broke or lost their shirt off of one or two business deals because they don't understand it, right? And so, yeah, giving a base level of information can be cool, but to also give context behind it in order to give each individual what it is that they need to be successful, or to give them the information to help them to realize that they shouldn't be going into that. And maybe their talent is something completely different, is what I like to call personal responsibility and ownership. Because if you don't understand your audience, or if you don't understand who it is that you're having conversations with, it can ruin their life. And so that's the responsibility that we have as people that have information, not to take advantage of people that don't have, but to give them the base level of information and then give them insight on how it is that they can be successful, or to move over into something different so that you don't ruin their life, right? So that's just giving y'all a little bit of insight on hard money.
How to get hard money lenders. We had credit repair. That was a guy that helped people fix their credit. We had
credit repair is a scam. All right. It's not necessarily a scam, but the information that they give or the tactics that I've heard that a lot of credit repair services use, a lot of them are illegal. A lot of them are illegal. It's so easy for you to be able to fix and repair your credit and get your score back up without paying an exorbitant amount of money to these credit repair people, or having them do some finessing type of stuff that if you get caught up, you're going to be going to jail as a result of it. Never put your freedom on the line. So be very, very, and I don't know who it was that he had, but I'm just giving y'all my insight of what it is that I see in the industry. It's a lot of pitfalls, and it's a lot of ways for y'all to go to jail. So y'all going to have to be careful. Be very, very careful of what it is that you take in and whose services that you use.
People who do wholesale, which I don't do wholesale. I can't explain wholesale, but we had somebody there to break down what wholesale was and how to get it done. Now, all those pieces of people explaining that, niggas usually would have to pay money for that. But
so how can you be a real estate expert, but you don't even understand wholesaling? At a very basic level. I'm not saying that you have to do it or that's a part of what it is that you do. But wholesaling is a way that you can get into the real estate game without actually even using any money. So if y'all want to know what wholesaling is, and we can go into that on a completely different stream, but let's continue. I'm going to be reading super chat shortly. Shout out to my dog, Carlton. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly.
it was all free. There was never an upsell. There was no, well, to learn this information, you have to do this. There was never an upsell in any of my thing. The only thing that was ever sold was some T-shirts that said landlord, trap lord. And that's anybody that's been on any of my seminar. There was no upsells. We didn't upsell shit. There was not.
So DJ Envy is saying, listen, I ain't had no upsells. I don't know what you're talking about. Fair enough, right? And he's saying the only thing that we sold was some T-shirts. He said the only thing he made money off of was a seminar on the legend and some T-shirts. That's the only thing that he sold in addition to actually being able to get into the seminar. He said, listen, I don't know everybody else, as other speakers, they may have sold themselves or whatever like that. They may have sold their services. But as far as I'm concerned, DJ Envy, he's saying the only thing we sold is some T-shirts and tickets to get into the event.
Not an upsell. There was nothing that you can buy then at any of my seminars. So the upsell thing, well, there was no upsell. So there was nothing that you can buy. Now, has anybody ever gave me $1, a dime, a nickel, a quarter, $100, $1,000, $100,000, or $500,000, or $1 million? Not one person. Because I'm making my business not to take money from nobody. And there's nobody on this live, and there's nobody in here that could ever say Envy, they gave Envy $1. I done helped everybody get homes. I done helped over 1,000 people get into homes. And that's celebrities, from Terrence J to Sean King to so many different people get houses, to regular people get into a house using FHA credit or regular loans. And when they say, Envy, let me give you something, I'm like, I don't need it. Because I honestly did this to help my people. And there's not nobody else that can say that they did. No, nobody.
So Envy is saying, listen, the money that I get, I'm on the up and up. And I've helped a lot of people, over 1,000 people actually get into homes. All right. This is what Envy is saying. I'm just taking it at face value and I'm reacting to the video based off of what's being said. I don't have an opinion one way or another. I'm just giving y'all the insight and presenting it and letting y'all see it, and I'm reacting to it in the same way you do. Envy said, I ain't never took $1 that I ain't earned. Ain't nobody gave me nothing. Every piece of money that I've earned has come as a result of my hard work, and it ain't got nothing to do with upselling. I've been rocking out and doing my thing, and I'm on the up and up. And it ain't nothing wrong with upselling. Let me say that. There's nothing illegal or wrong with upselling. If somebody see an additional service that you can offer them and they see value in it, it's nothing wrong with upselling. It's just a part of the sales process. But Envy is saying, I ain't even do that because I just wanted to help people. Let's continue.
Many investors trusted your business partner based off your relationship, right?
I'm glad that you said that. So now,
and I want to ask you a question, like, as a public figure, how do you feel your responsibility for your actions and his actions, and how does your professional view on all that play a part?
Okay,
how do you feel like? What do you feel like he your part is in this?
I love that question. This is the thing. I have many different partners. I got partners that own water. I got partners when it comes to real estate. I got partners when it comes to clothing lines. I got partners when it comes to many different things.
The last partner that I had personally was in the Lapeef network. I try not to have any partners. I have contractors. So you may own your own company that I contract in order to come over and do something, but I largely stay away from partnerships because I think it's a very, very dangerous game, and you don't know what the intentions are or the background of the people that you're doing business with entirely. It's impossible for you to know, just to be fair. I'll give you an example. And this is why I say I do business with people as much as I can based off of character instead of whether or not they're good at business. If me and you go into a restaurant together and you may be a phenomenal businessman and I be great at marketing and whatever like that, right? And then within that business, we make a really decent profit or we make an okay profit, right? And then you say, all right, listen, I want to get a lower quality of chicken and beef. It's still going to pass inspection, but I want to get a lower quality. I'm unwilling to make more money as a result of it because there's also ways in which I see things, and I think that it's not always about extracting the most money as possible out of that. It's also about adding as much value because I see the long-term vision instead of getting the short-term money, right? And so I just look at partnerships outside of the person that I lay next to every day is a very difficult sell, right? I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna hire you and pay you for your services. And when that is no longer rendered, regardless of whether or not we separate or not, you may not like the reason that we separating, but the one thing that we can't say is that there isn't any money owed. When you start to involve money in these things, as far as partnerships, it get really sticky. It get really sticky as far as ownership in companies. Because money is the number one reason why people get divorced. It's the number one reason why people get indicted. I'd rather stand on my own too as far as dealing with my own money. And then you deal with your own money and you can start your own company and then I'll contract you in to do whatever it is that you want to do. But when it comes to ownership and partnerships, I stand alone. I stand alone. And I'm recommending that y'all do that also. But let's continue.
Many different things. So let me ask you a question. Me and you own a barbershop, right? The barbershop does well. On the side, you're a pedophile. And I don't know you're a pedophile. Are they going to say DJ Envy's partner is a pedophile and I knew about it? No, nigga, I didn't know what you did on the side or what you was doing. Not to say that even Caesar was doing.
And that's the difficult part about a partnership is because people automatically indict you, especially as soon as you get visibility based off of what somebody else is doing. Because the optics is the only thing that matter in the eyes of public opinion. The only thing that matters is what the presentation layer looked like.
Doing anything right or wrong, because I honestly don't know. That's between them and whatever happened. But did I say, here, take this money and give it to this person or do this with this money? I never did. And nobody's ever come to me. And anybody who's ever came, if you ever came to my seminar, I tell everybody on this stage, whether it's credit repair or it's a conventional lender, do your homework because I don't trust anybody. And I said that. And I said the reason I don't trust anybody is because like anything in this world, somebody will treat me different because I'm a quote unquote celebrity than they'll treat somebody else. And if you've been to my seminars, I say that a million times where the speakers get offended sometimes. But the reason I do that is because I don't trust people. I don't trust anybody. I don't. That's just me. Even with real estate. I'm not a person that just buys because I never seen. I need to touch the house. I need to feel it. I need to walk through it. I need to know things on my own. So if by you putting out DJ Envy and a picture of me and Caesar saying that y'all did that, you know I didn't scam nobody for no money. You know I didn't take no money. And like I said, the thing with me and you is when
I don't understand how DJ Envy don't understand the internet. He's been on the internet and they've done Donkey of the Days and they've done all kind of stuff. And so him being a part of the thumbnail and say, yo, you partners with a dude that's scamming, I just come with the game. There's plenty of people that put my face on thumbnails on stuff that's not true. It's plenty of people that say a bunch of egregious shit that's absolutely positively false. That's a part of the game that you win, fam. They say a bunch of stuff on a regular basis on the radio and have opinions of what everybody else is saying and have them on thumbnails. Now you feeling a certain type of way because somebody else put your face on a thumbnail when they doing the same thing that the Breakfast Club do almost every single day? Listen, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. It's cool as long as it hit everybody else, but it's not cool when it come to you. I tell people all the time, listen, you can react to whatever it is that you just don't steal my content, right? You can react to anything that you want to do. Don't steal it and pass it off like you created it, like it's yours. Don't steal my video and then repost it and act like you actually did it. You can react. That's just the rules of the game. That's what YouTube does. YouTube said that you can react to other people's content without penalty or repercussion, and that's the way that it go. Do it then. Do it. But let's continue.
You know me. You say you didn't have my number. My number's the same. You got my number. You can call me anytime.
Well, I actually didn't have your number, Henry, but like
as soon as I heard, what did I do? I said my number.
Tony said, I ain't have your number, Envy.
Let me ask you a question, because the guy last night, he said that he gave Caesar $1 million. When he said he came to the office, you were right there to greet him. He said he felt like you were part of the entire process as far as bringing him into the, him even deciding to make this investment. He's like, I would never have made $1 million investment if I didn't have DJ Envy.
Hold on, wait. Y'all just giving people $1 million out here? It's a dude that was willing to give Caesar, DJ Envy's partner, $1 million? Come on, fam. Okay, wait. You can't tell me that people are this gullible. People can't be this. Y'all willing to give somebody $1 million? I don't even feel comfortable taking $1,000 from somebody. If somebody try to hand me, we be at the Patreon meetups and people will be bringing gifts and stuff like that. And I'd be like, I can't take this. Somebody bought me, shout out to you, big dog. Somebody had bought me some vintage vintage Pistons basketball cards that he collected. And I couldn't take it. I was just like, man, I just don't feel comfortable. But then I didn't want to offend. I didn't know what the protocol was. I don't feel comfortable taking somebody else's money. $1 million? Man, I couldn't even take $50,000, $40,000, $10,000 from somebody. I don't feel comfortable taking other people's money, and I'm not managing your money. I don't want to manage your money. I don't want to invest your money for you. Even when we have conversations here or within the Patreon, I say, listen, this is my experience. I'm gonna give you the game based off of what it is I know. Do your own research and then make your own informed decision. I'm not y'all giving people $1 million out here in these streets. No wonder these dudes is getting so much money.
Signing them and telling me that, he's a good dude. And then I come to the office and he's in the exact same office as I'm walking in before we even come to an agreement on the deal. So how do you feel like you play a part in that when an investor feels like, hey, my investment decision is based off the fact that I'm watching you sit in the same office with this guy, right? This guy said he was on his deathbed. He got $1 million lawsuit from a multi-million-dollar lawsuit from almost dying. He invests his money with Caesar and he's been chasing his money.
Now you
See, now, this is the problem, though. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. I got to shoot Envy some bill. Based off of what Tony just said, it's a dude that got a lawsuit. And part of the lawsuit money, he took $1 million and he invested it with DJ Envy's partner, Caesar. Now, how is Envy, A, supposed to know where he got the money from? And then B, how do we hold DJ Envy accountable for what it is that the homie did? Because if the guy brought Caesar money to invest in both Caesar and Envy's company, then that's one thing. But if he just brought it in and invested with the Caesar dude, that's a completely different thing. Because I don't have and this is why I say y'all got to be careful of who it is that y'all got in y'all circle. Because if the dude just brought the money in to invest it with the Caesar dude, that has nothing to do with DJ Envy whatsoever. But if he brought it in and invested in both of their company, that's a completely different conversation. So I'm going to try to play this out and see whether or not this is, what this looks like.
Telling me because I'm in the same office with somebody doing my car show business and somebody's in another office building, another office spot doing something else that I know what he's doing in that office space. And I greet everybody that comes in the office. You know why? Because that's what my mom taught me to do because I'm a respectful, kind person.
That's fair. I think that's fair. Just to say hi because somebody came in, especially if you're a celebrity, because you know that people are going to recognize you and know you. I don't think that Envy is honestly doing anything wrong. Not based off of what I see happening right here.
I don't care if you're young, if you're old, if you're black, if you're white, if you're Spanish. If you walk into my office, I look everybody in the eye and I say hello. And the reason why I do that is because 9 times out of 10, I got a couple $100,000 car outside and I want to see who's coming in and out my office.
I see you, Blackheart, Green Paper, everybody that's super chatting. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to read those shortly.
Now, if you go into another office and have a conversation with somebody and you decide to do whatever you want to do, that has nothing to do with envy. If you said, if envy said, do this because I said it's cool, that's a different story. If you see envy's name on a contract, that's a different story. But now it seems like you're fishing for things that put me involved. Just because I'm in the office with somebody else doesn't mean that me and that person is doing anything with each other.
Well,
I'm fair. That's fair. I think that's 100% fair. I don't see anything wrong with what MB just said.
Doesn't mean I'm co-signing anybody. Doesn't mean that at all. And now if that person,
we look at you and Caesar from a perspective that you guys are business partners. So like every time I've ever seen anything with real estate, you guys both do it together. Like
no, we all business partners.
When I see the events, anytime I see Caesar never speaks.
The caveat here is just evaluating whether or not they business partners and what it is that other dude was bringing the money in for, or if they were business partners in something completely separate, but the guy is doing business on his own with regard to the $1 million that was brought into the office. That's the whole caveat. Did the guy bring in the money to the office to do business with both of them, or is he bringing in the money to do business with just the Caesar dude? That's the whole caveat.
Hear you speak. So
no, Caesar definitely speaks.
Every time we see an ad, I see C's looking over like this, and you are actually doing the presentation. So he's not like the person that's the spokesperson. So I'm just like, just being real. When we look at it, like this man wouldn't have, nobody would fuck with Caesar if it wasn't for DJ Envy. Like I wouldn't know who he was if it wasn't for you. Like most of these people wouldn't, when you say I'm attaching you, it's because you marketed them. Everywhere we see Flippin' NJ, there's DJ Envy. So if I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, if this is a guy that I'm investing with, I'm investing based off your likeness.
Well, see, this is the thing. I'm not anybody's babysitter. I don't tell people what to do and what not to do. Now, Caesar's a guy that got me into real estate.
I mean, I think that's fair because, listen, y'all, at some point, you got to have some level of, you also have to have some level of personal responsibility of who it is that you invest with. Did you do your due diligence? And are you putting yourself in harm's way? As far as withdrawing a fucking $1 million and bringing it into an office to invest with a real estate guy. Man, come on, man. I didn't know that it was people out here that was just that gullible. I didn't know it was people out here that was that gullible, that's willing to take $1 million of their lawsuit money and give it to another person to invest with. Yo, let me tell you something. I don't even believe that you should invest that amount of money with a financial advisor or with a broker. I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe that anybody should be touching your money but you, and you can pay them in order to give you insight so you can make a more informed decision of what you're going to do yourself. But I ain't trusting nobody to put a hand on 1 red cent of my money. That's just is what it is. It is what it is. When we also have to start holding these people accountable for doing this dumb junk.
And he got me into real estate where I purchased a lot of homes. And because of that, he made me a lot of money where I own these houses and I have tenants. And I was excited about it. And I was excited about it because not too many people that look like me are buying property. So I told Caesar, let's teach people how to do it. Now, we taught a lot of people how to do it. We taught a lot of people how to buy homes. We taught a lot of people about FHA and things that people had no idea about. Now, that's my business with Caesar. That's my business with a lot of people. Now, if you go outside of that and want to jump in on your own, that has nothing to do with the kid.
So Envy is saying, yo, Caesar helped me get into the real estate business in which I'm now a homeowner, or I have businesses where I own homes and I have tenants that then rent from me, and I'm appreciative of him as a result of it. And this is my translation of what Envy is saying. And so as a result, we started a business together in which we teach people to do this also. This is what I'm hearing Envy saying. How true it is, who knows? Envy is saying, yo, me and Caesar started a business to teach people how to do what he helped me do and get into the game because I was excited about it. And he's saying now what other people decide to do as a result of doing business with Caesar and giving them a bunch of money in order to invest from a real estate perspective has nothing to do with our business dealings. But again, 2 things can be true at the same time. The first thing that can be true is you got to be careful of who it is that you align yourself with, A, and then especially as a public figure, And then B, Envy can be right. If this is true, Envy can be 100% right in that. How can we hold DJ Envy accountable for what somebody else is doing that knows him or is tied to him in a completely different business capacity? So it's kind of a difficult thing, right? Because when you're a public figure, you get held to a different standard. So I get that, but it's very difficult at this point, based off of what I'm seeing, for us to hold DJ Envy accountable for something that somebody else is doing if it's not tied to him.
That has nothing to do with me. I'm not part of those deals. I'm not part of anything that goes on. I could be a partner with Elon Musk, and me and Elon Musk do Teslas together. Now, if Elon Musk decides he wants to do his space property, and he does some foul shit on the space property, people are like, oh, well, I invested because Envy was part of the Tesla. No, that ain't got. Then people need to stop being followers and be leaders. People got to do their own homework. When I give anybody money for any of my investments, some do well, some don't do well. All my investments, I do my own homework. If you come up to me right now and say, yo, Envy, I got a crib in Miami and it's worth this, I'm not doing it because you a nice guy that got a lot of followers. I would be a fucking asshole. I call my accountant and I'm like, hey, look at this deal. Does this deal make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. I'm not doing it.
So
that's how it is. That's what people
I like keeping it real.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I want to see what's going to happen.
Right. So how has your business dealings been with Caesar?
Some have been great, some haven't been. Some have been really good and I made a lot of money, and some have been slow. And that's why I say when people...
That's a good question, though. That's a really good question.
Invest money, sometimes it goes like this, right? And you know this. I didn't hit with Caesar a couple of times and flip money in less than 30 days. Some of my builders, like the school, we still got, and I haven't got my money back yet. But I know that's part of the game. But I also do know there's certain things that need to happen. Like when it comes to Caesar, you know, we've had a conversation, and I spoke to him, and I spoke to Jen, and I told him if he does, and I asked him personally, I said, do you owe people money?
Does he owe you money?
We have an investment together that we're going to sell. He does not owe me money. We partnered up on a property. We partnered up on a property.
Does he owe you money, DJ Envy?
It's a school, let me tell you.
I mean, that's fair. He's saying that, he don't personally owe me money, but we have an investment together, an investment property that we looking to sell, that hopefully we make money as a result of it. But these are some really good questions by Tony.
Offline, DJ Envy.
No, I'm going to tell you 100%. No, I'm going to tell you 100%.
You can't do that, DJ Envy.
I'm going to tell you the truth. You're going to let me speak or we not?
No, but we got to do, if we're going to tell the truth, we got to tell the truth. We're going to tell the truth. Now.
We speaking the truth. Because I tell you everything. I talk to you offline.
That's what I'm saying.
I told you, me and Caesar, we bought a school. That's the only outstanding deal that we have. That school never came back, and that school is not done yet. When I spoke to Caesar today, I told him I have a problem.
Hey, shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson. All of these people that's trying to buy schools and losing their face as a result of it. All these people that's buying schools and trying to do them over and all of this other type of junk. Shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson. That's just a little light one.
And he said, I'm giving you your money back. That's it. So we don't have any dealings with each other. And I even told you, because when we had that conversation, I called him last night. I'm like, do you owe anybody money? Caesar told me no. He said there was people that we invested with that did well, and there was people that we didn't invest with that it takes a little longer. And I told him, nigga, whatever you need to do, give them people back their money. That's all it is. But when it comes to it, that's what it is.
Being tied to people, DJ Envy is nervous. DJ Envy is nervous. And the reason that DJ Envy is nervous is because whatever it is that his homie, who he's obviously done a lot of different businesses with, or a lot of business with, got him out here looking bad. Got him out here looking like a whole fool.
And you find somebody else that will talk to you on live in a minute to talk to you about the real, because I honestly, we talked offline though. That's why I asked you the question. And it's like, we personally offline. I mean, I know you might be wanting to still not really throw your man under, but like, we talked offline. And we spoke online yesterday. That's why.
This is kind of dirty. Because if we have an offline conversation, we can't then start to bring that up as a part of it if we didn't agree that that's what we wanted to talk about online. Man, I don't trust nobody, bro. That's why I stay to myself, man. I keep my circle tight. I don't kick it with a lot of people. I don't care if you're a celebrity. I don't care if you're a person or whatever, so on and so forth. If we ain't 100% on some business type junk, man, even the people that I call enemies, let me say this. Even people that I would identify or the general public would identify as enemies, y'all know some of them, people that I done got into it with online and stuff. If I know you in real life or you shared some stuff with me offline that I may know about you or your family or anything like that or certain conversations, yo, we can be at war and I could be reacting to your content or whatever like that, but I'm never, ever, 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 I don't care what you say about me. I'm never going to throw you under the bus in that way. But I'm not saying that everybody got to operate in the same way that I operate. I just got a higher code. I'm not going to talk about your personal business. I'm not going to talk about what you got going on offline. I'm not going to talk about things that I may know about that you share with me because we was cool. However you move or, reacting to the content is one thing. But if we have offline conversations, that's a whole nother conversation for me. So I operate a little differently.
I was kind of upset when you put out a picture of me and Caesar and said DJ's Envy's partner owes all this money. And I'm like, damn, my nigga, we spoke last night. And I'm telling you, I would tell you. But, I get it. My name on it is a little, you get more clicks and all that.
1,000% it gets more clicks. But that's the same thing you do when you call out real estate investors and then you do a real estate event. That's called marketing, right? That was part of your marketing. Like
you throwing somebody under the bus that fucks with you, which is weird. But I don't care because I really didn't take nobody's money. And I just want to tell you, the dude that you talked about that allegedly owes $1 million, I just got off the phone with him. And the first thing he said was, I did meet you when I went to the office, but we never spoke. You just said hello and kept it moving. So, I don't know why Tony would say that, you certified that deal or you made the deal comfortable. Like,
so Envy and from optics, based off of what it is that I'm observing right now, Envy ain't got nothing to do with this. And it's unfortunate. And this is why people have to be very, very careful of who they surround themselves with and all of that other type of stuff. But based off of what Envy is saying, he said even the guy was like, yo, I know you ain't got nothing to do with it. Just because you spoke to me and said hi don't necessarily mean that I did business with you. Envy is saying, and get it. Listen, I understand the YouTube game. I understand the content creation game. It is what it is. How it plays out, it is what it is. But from all just observations of looking at what it is that I'm seeing right here, DJ Envy is saying, listen, I ain't did nothing to nobody and I don't need to do nothing to nobody. But let's continue.
Nigga, we didn't even talk. If he walked past me now, I wouldn't even know who he was. I speak to anybody that comes to my office. But what I would like to do, I would like to get Caesar on there and y'all have a conversation and then you can ask him all the questions you need to ask him.
So I asked you another question last night because you were very direct about the fact that you wanted to distance yourself from being involved in any dealings that
Jesus. Throwing all of the personal business out there. Jesus Christ.
You didn't know about with Caesar and these investments. What do you feel like you should do as far as your platform responsibility with letting the people know that have invested with Caesar based off your likeness?
Well, I tell everybody, no matter what you do when you invest, you make sure you do your homework when it comes to anything. This is what I tell everybody all the time. You make sure you do your homework. I do feel like you're saying Caesar's guilty before hearing his side of the coin, which I think is kind of crazy. I mean,
no, it's not crazy. That's just a part of the game. That's what happens when it comes to content creation. People speculate. They want to know. When you talk about somebody's relationship, whether or not somebody cheated on somebody, Jada Pinkett, Will Smith, Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade, money, finances, whatever it is that's hot at the time, that's just a part of the game. And DJ Envy need to understand that he do understand it. I don't even know why we sitting here playing games. DJ Envy understand the game.
Anybody can say anything they want, man. I just seen today that I owe people money. I just seen all types of shit. But the thing is, I think you should have that man on here to have a conversation and give his side of the story. There's two sides of the story. Well, there's actually three sides of the story, right? His side, and then what's the truth. And I think before somebody starts saying that somebody owes somebody money or somebody doing something wrong and making an accusing and an accusation, I think you need to have him on there and clear his own name up.
Well, I think that's fair, but I also
I tried to call you today with him on the phone, and you said you were clearly busy. So he's not.
But we talking about. Don't try to flip the narrative on me because that's bullshit. And then
did I not call you?
I'm really swing it because I've been being nice and I've been trying to.
You don't have to be nice. Did I not call you this morning? Tony, did I not?
Whatever their alleged friendship was prior to this call, there is no friendship after this. Because if anybody has ever seen DJ Envy and how angry and vindictive he get as a result of what's happening, and I don't necessarily blame either one of them from saying after this call that whatever we thought we had, we not friends after this, because they operate on two different codes and two different principles and two different ways in which they see it and how they see this playing out. Tony is communicating in one way. DJ Envy is communicating another way. I don't have an opinion either way, but y'all can make y'all own assessment based off of what it is that you see.
I call you 30 minutes.
But you know you bullshitting too, right?
I'm a bullshit.
Because the fact of the matter is that you know that Caesar been doing bad business, and you just right now really trying to distance yourself because you don't want to be implicated with it. You know that he's been fucking people over. He fucked you over. He owes you money. You told me last night he owes you money. Like, this ain't me making up shit. This ain't me just coming out and attacking anybody. This is real people. And it's like even like your man, the credit dude, that was a part of y'all whole situation, bro. He's out of 150,000. The nigga was out here talking about committing suicide. See, you can't play me like I'm the nigga that's just clout chasing or doing some bullshit. I'm really talking about people. Credit dude called me talking about he's in fear of his life. Like, he's like, yo, I'm in fear of my life, and these niggas took my money. I got.
This is getting messy. If okay, it's two things. All right, let me break this down for y'all, for the people that's because this is my first time seeing it, so I'm reacting to it in real time. It's one thing to bring up a conversation based off of a conversation that you had offline, right? Because Tony might be telling 100% of the truth. He seems like he's telling the truth. He seems like that's what that conversation is. Whenever I talk to somebody offline before I go live, I ask them, is it anything that you don't feel comfortable with me talking about? Or if I interview somebody, I say, is it anything that you want me to cut out? Just because that's just how I move when it comes to creating content. They not friends. Obviously, they're not friends. So Tony don't have to go by anything. He could do whatever it is that he want to do, and he's not necessarily wrong about it. The other side of it, though, is DJ Envy is an idiot. And the reason why DJ Envy is an idiot is because you don't tell that type of information to somebody that is not your friend. Well, you don't tell that type of information to anybody anyway. If somebody owes you money and you don't want other people to know that your mans owe you money because you lent your man some money, then you don't go out there talking and being a chatty patty so that they can then bring it up on a live stream that's completely separate from any. This is Envy's fault. This is 100, because I said it in the beginning. How do we not hold people accountable for not giving $1 million over to the person, and then we also have to hold somebody accountable for finessing a person out of $1 million? Both of them should be accountable for their actions, right? So I can't sit here and say, well, it's Tony's fault for bringing it up on live. It's Envy's fault for fucking telling him. Why is Envy telling Tony, when they not cool like that, information about what it is that his mans is doing on the side, and yo, my mans owe me money, or this is happening, and so on and so forth. Now Envy looked like a fool. He looked like a fool because he over here talking too much and telling too much of his man's business to somebody who's not even, that don't owe you no kind of loyalty whatsoever. It's 100% DJ Envy's fault. This conversation going left the way that it's going right now is 1,000%. I can't sit here and say to a person offline, yeah, man, my wife did this to me or whatever, so on and so forth, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I look at her funny when she bring it up online, even though I expected for her not to bring it up online. If she bring it up online, then I'm looking at her funny as though she had any loyalty to me or she had any kind of responsibility to me. No, that's my fault. That's 100% my fault. Envy looking like a fool because Envy is a fool. Envy got finessed and he a fool. And you can't be in media this long getting this easily finessed. And this is all Envy fault. This is 100% Envy fault. The fact that Envy is even on a live stream on Instagram talking with Tony looking like a fool is 100% Envy's fault. I said it in the very beginning. The thing that he should have did was stayed away from this whole thing and let it play out however it was going to play out. Tomorrow, there will be somebody else that does something dumb that's going to come to the front of the congregation. It's going to be an Ebony K. Williams. It's going to be a Gabrielle Union. It's going to be somebody else that comes to the front of the congregation, and it's going to be gone tomorrow. But this dumbass decided that he wanted to go on a live and tell all of this other type of stuff, and he looking like a fool as a result of it. Dummy, dummy, dummy.
I got 7 or 8 DMs of people that's $400,000 or $500,000, bro. Last night on the phone, you told me, yo, this nigga owe me over $500,000. Don't do me now. You gonna try to get online and make me look like shit, because then I'm.
People in the chat says Tony has 12.7 million in scam receipts. I don't know anything about that. I'm going. Listen, this live today is reacting to what it is that DJ Envy and Tony the Closer had a conversation about. I don't have an opinion, right, of who did what about what, because nobody is going to know anything unless it comes out in court. So I don't go by that. Like, that's not my niche. That's not what I do online. It's other people. Shout out to Pocket Watching with JT. Shout out to Tony the Closer that can do that. If y'all want to check out their live streams, go and check out their live streams. They have all of that information. I'm going based off of how this conversation is going in this particular video specifically. That's all I'm going based off of. Tony don't have no responsibility to DJ Envy outside of whatever Tony wants to do, because obviously he said they ain't friends. He didn't have his number. And DJ Envy is out here being a chatty patty and telling too much information. That's all it is. That's what it is. That's all I know. Now the 12.7 million, maybe we'll live stream about that if more information come out about that or whatever. But as far as what I see right here, DJ Envy is a fool. He an idiot. And he had to be kicking himself when he got off of this live stream.
I'm gonna come back with the.
And this is the thing. You could come back with whatever you want.
I'm gonna come back with the.
I just got off the phone with Credit Dude. I just got off the phone with Credit Dude, and Credit Dude told me that you were making things up. I just got off the phone with Credit Dude, and you said it's making things up. I just got off.
See what I'm saying? Now it's turning into a shouting match. It went from a conversation to let me clear my name to him asking conversations and questions. It was a respectful back and forth. Now they yelling over each other because it's emotional, and it's all because of what it is that I just told you. He should have never, ever jumped on his live stream at all in the first place. At all.
There's no way that you're gonna tell me.
You are clout chasing, because the main thing that you did was fucked up is you added my name.
Listen,
and that's what you did. You added my name because that's what it was. You know he owe you money, but I did the real thing, and I came on here and spoke to you like a man. I didn't talk behind your back.
Keep that I spoke to you like a man nonsense to yourself, fam. Protect yourself. Protect yourself at all costs. Do not over talk, especially when you're not even built for this. Go on the radio, play some songs, do some parties, do some DJing, do your car show. You're not built for this content creation game. Obviously, Tony is.
And that's what real niggas do. When we have a conversation or disagreement, we have a conversation. All that other shit is out the window. And I'm trying to get Caesar on the phone because I called you earlier and I tried to get him on the phone with you. I didn't try to call you earlier when you said, yo, call me back in 30 minutes. And when you call me back, I tried to call him.
Didn't you talk to me since then?
And didn't I try to call him with you on the phone? Did I try to call
him
with you on the phone? Answer yes or no.
Don't act like I ducked your phone call, my nigga.
You full of shit.
Yes or no? Did you say that the nigga owe you money?
Obviously, you full of shit. I tried to be a real nigga and talk to you, but you just a clown like everybody else.
How many times have we seen this play out? How many times? Listen. Envy is the idiot here. Tony clearly had made it clear in the very beginning of this live stream that we are not friends. The best thing for Envy to do was to not go on his live stream. The second best thing for Envy to do was to hurry up and get the fuck off the live stream as soon as he seen it going left. But now he talking about, I thought you was a real nigga. Tony talking about, yo, fam, it made Envy look like an idiot. Tony the Closer embarrassed Envy. Tony the Closer, and I'm not saying like on some like, Tony the Closer made Envy look like an idiot. Tony made Envy look like Tony been doing radio and content for the last 15, 20 years. And Envy don't know shit about content creation. That's what Tony made Envy look like a fool, and Envy fell for the whole okie doke. Oh, okie doke. He made Envy look like an idiot because Envy should have never been offline. First of all, Envy should have never been on the phone talking to Tony like they was friends about somebody else's business in the first place. And then secondly, Envy jumped on here talking about being a real nigga. Man, you know you ain't got no friends in this industry? Stop, bro.
I salute you. I hope you get that nigga on the phone, and I hope y'all clear it up. And anybody, if he does owe you money, I hope that y'all get it, and I hope y'all get it straight.
How much of the money did you get
I'm
from
gonna do my best to make sure that if there is a problem issue, even though I'm not
pure,
involved,
hey, you manipulate right now, bro. Like you trying to dismiss yourself from the shit that you got
going on. Love you, brother. I love you, brother. Peace.
That was the smartest thing he did was to get up off of there. He got up off of there a little too late, but the smartest thing that he did was get up off of there. Tony, and he laughing.
How you distance yourself when you the only reason that this nigga know who you are? We only know Flippin' and Jake based off him. Yeah, Tony is always this petty because you niggas are sitting back and okay with a nigga stealing millions of dollars from his community and saying that he's doing it for the community. See, the exact same shit that DJ Envy said he was against when he said that, hey, I'm against the gurus who are coming out here and taking advantage of people and selling their courses and programs for hundreds of thousands of dollars. He came out and did the exact same shit.
How does Rick Ross beat Envy when Ross ain't even playing in the same game as Envy? That's the thing. Listen, people was coming at Ross because Ross was talking shit to Envy, and then it started getting personal. And then next thing you know, you got Envy looking like a whole fool from talking to Tony, and it just go left. Man, this is wild. Envy looking dumb. Envy looking dumb. He gave Tony all of the ammunition and all of the incentive that he needed in order to continue to make money, blow this shit open, and continue to blow his name up as a result of it. Well played, Tony. I listen, I got to give Tony his props. And hold on, let me, because I'm not a hater. That's one thing about me is that I'm not a hater. Give me a second. Let me pull this off. I got to give Tony his props. Tony played this like he's been playing chess for the last 15 years. He absolutely walked Envy right into that razor blade and didn't give a fuck about him. He said, and he told him, and Envy should have known right off the bat. Listen, he said, listen, I ain't got your number. We ain't even friends like that. We ain't cool like that. And Envy just walked right into that buzzsaw, and I can't believe that he was stupid enough to do it. Service USA says, these politicians are like Big Pharma, no money in the cure, only in the treatment. Get these likes up. Shout out to the Service USA. Carlton says credit repair is a scam. Shout out to Carlton. I appreciate you, big dog. Blackheart Green Paper says it was off Envy face, though. Spaces says, I had respect for Tony at the beginning of this, but anybody that airs out something somebody told them in confidence is scum. Chatty patties, they are. Tony didn't have no loyalty to Envy. But the question that y'all have to ask yourself is, did Tony, was he supposed to have any loyalty to Envy? Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Also, make sure you tap into that Teach Pack, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. In addition to that, I guess Tony really is the closer. That's what somebody said in the chat. Tony the closer, ladies and gentlemen. In addition to that, make sure y'all come and show up for the show. June 9th, the link is in the description for y'all to be able to get y'all tickets to the Charleston White Show. Featuring my dog Jay Will, Cookie, and many, many more. Myself, I will be there. Absolutely, I will be there. It will be incredible. Let me go ahead and continue with the show. Make sure y'all get the likes up. Hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. NBA players and their bad spending habits. NBA players and their bad spending habits. Now, somebody sent me this into my email last night. I checked it this morning, and I said I was going to react to it in real time. because I want to show you how disconnected these people are. And I'm incentivized to have this conversation because of something that played out over the weekend. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Let's go ahead and get into the video, ladies and gentlemen.
So the first question is from K, just K, one letter. That's all you need. What is the most money that you spend in one night? Gil, we'll start with you.
One night?
I know what that is.
Ooh. Like out in the club or something?
Yeah.
It's like 60 grand.
Oh.
What about your birthday party?
Yeah. What about?
Hey, my man said, oh. Some NBA players is cheap. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of NBA players is cheap. It's some people that have a sense of money or they never get disconnected from what it is. It's two different types of people here, all right? The first type of person is the person that is so used to being broke or poor that they've adjusted their lifestyle to where they say, well, if I ever get money, I never want to be poor again. And so what happens is they're very, very careful. They may be a super saver. They may not even be a savvy investor, but they're going to protect that bag and they're going to make sure that they never, ever broke again. So that's the first type of person. The second type of person that ain't never had money said they ain't used to nothing. And so I'm YOLO. I'm going to spend it all. I'm going to blow it all. And we going to get to this bag. All right. Gilbert Arenas says one night he spent $60,000 in a club. I don't know. What is the most I've ever spent in a strip club? Rita. I don't even think that she's here. She must have left out. I don't know. What's the most I ever spent in a strip club? It ain't no 60,000. I can tell you that.
Hello?
Hey, did you leave out?
No, I'm in the bathroom.
Oh, you're in the bathroom. I'm like, I know I ain't heard you speak. What's the most you ever think that we ever spent in a club, a strip club or anything like that? You on a live stream too, by the way.
Hi, everybody.
What did we spend in a strip club that one night would be?
Maybe like 10, I think. I don't know. We was just throwing money. I had no idea.
Like 10,000?
Probably.
Yeah, it was probably like 10,000. I feel like for 10,000, now that I'm looking back on it, I should have got some sucky for that or something. The fuck?
You did. Just not for
Hey, I'm about to hang up. Didn't I tell her I was on a live stream? Did I not tell Rita that I was on a live stream? Gosh, I had to hang up on that chick. Jesus Christ. Note to self, stop calling Rita during a live stream. Let's continue.
What about the DC?
But that wasn't a one night thing. That was a one night. I had to.
So was it a consistent? It was a consistent amount of nights, though, right? It was.
No, I had to like book, the hotel.
Ended up costing.
And then like 2 days later, I had to book this hotel, then flight. So it wasn't like in a one night.
But it was all for that one night, though.
Oh yeah, okay.
So for that one event.
$2 million.
Oh.
That's killer.
Even not when I think about it, I'm thinking 50 night in a club.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man. Let me rewind this. We need to start this over. All right? Let's start this over.
That wasn't a one night thing. That was a one night. I had to.
So was it a consistent? It was a consistent amount of nights, though, right? It was.
No, I had to like book, the hotel.
Ended up costing.
And then like 2 days later, I had to book this hotel, then flight. So it wasn't like in a one night.
But it was all for that one night, though.
Oh yeah, okay.
So for that one event.
$2 million.
This dude said he spent $2 million for one event. 2, and here I am thinking I didn't blew a bag because I spent $10,000 in one night, and this dude spent 2 M's in one event. That's wild. That is wild. 2 M's for one event.
That's killer.
Even not when I think about it, I'm thinking 59 in a club, right, buying bottles and shit that I didn't drink. Just wanted a club promoter back there. I'm trying to I can do this, right?
Facts.
But it was the club because I had to buy out hotels.
Okay.
Right, like the whole night I had to. So yeah.
When you were buying up,
These dudes are big babies, man. These dudes are idiots. When I say that these dudes are idiots, well, it's hard for for you to say that somebody is an idiot when they have access to so much money. Let me look up. I'm gonna be reading super chats in a second. Let me look up Gilbert Arenas' career earnings. Because I know he was getting semi-finessed. They say he earned $160 million in salary plus tens of millions more in endorsements. So let's say he earned $200 million throughout his career. Let's say he earned $200 million throughout his career. So if you spent, but let's say after taxes, you only got 100 M's, right? So 200 million, taxes 100 million, and you spent literally what, 2%? 2% of your entire earnings in one night or one event? These dudes is idiots. And this is how dudes go broke. This is how somebody like an Antoine Walker, all of those other type of dudes, this is how they wind up going broke.
bottles that people weren't drinking. I think I asked you this before. Were you staring at? I like to monitor pours. If I buy a bottle, like niggas I don't know don't over pour, dog.
Yeah.
No,
One shot.
No, I didn't care. It was a battle. It was
okay.
That's why them sparkler shits.
Yeah.
Once them came out, we flexing now.
Yeah.
Listen to how idiotic this sounds, right? Get some sparklers, some $5 sparklers will have dudes spending $2 million. Now we in a battle to see who can spend the most money. See, now it's a difference in going into a place and just blowing money because, you know, you just having a good time or whatever like that. Yo, my friends is over here. I want to make sure that they take care of or whatever. We wind up, you look up at the end of the night, you light an extra 10,000. That's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like 10,000, whatever. You a millionaire, you spending some money, you making it rain in a club or whatever like that. Cool. A $5 sparkler will have you niggas spending $2 million?
Right? So I'm with Antoine. Listen, I'm with Antoine. Club promoter back there, got all the girls and shit. It's me and Antoine. It's his birthday party for his girl. Just four.
Is he saying Antoine Walker, the other dude that went broke?
He bought 6. And he about to do this shit now, right behind me. Give me, what's that? Give me 10. Right?
This is the most idiotic thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. Talk about ego getting the best of you, bro.
To the point where I said, you know what? I don't drink. Fuck it. Hey, all the Fiji water in here. Every fucking bottle. Right. I want all of it. I want it.
So now they're gonna upcharge you and charge you $25 per bottle of water.
They was like, wait, every pack, it comes in 6, I want them all, and then put the shits, make it a choo-choo train. So there was just this long-ass choo-choo train line of just water.
Was this at Live?
Yep.
I was there.
Yo, you was there?
I was.
Yeah.
I remember
You ain't gonna be hydrated, goddammit. You ain't gonna hydrate.
You can't even drink all of that water because you want to buy a choo-choo train.
remember
Ain't
that.
no water for you.
That's-
You was there?
Yeah,
all
I was
the
there.
fucking water.
That's trolling.
Shit. All the water.
Trolling at his finest.
Brandon, how
He,
about you?
hey, everybody can get some. Not him.
Not him. Me? Man, I like to spend. Shit. Maybe like 4.
Well, before Brandon Jennings go, let me say this. I remember reading an article about how fiscally responsible Brandon Jennings was. When Brandon Jennings first got into the league, he was largely heralded when he first got into the league. And don't get me wrong, I could be wrong, but Brandon Jennings was largely heralded because he was in Milwaukee, and they said that he had just bought a little condo, and he just wanted to drive a Suburban or whatever, right? And so, he was driving an old Suburban or whatever like that. He didn't buy no new car. He had bought a used car and all of that. Now, that's my impression because I have not seen this video. That's my impression before I actually hear Brandon Jennings say how much he spent in one night. Is that Brandon Jennings was fiscally responsible. He actually came over to the Pistons. I liked him when he was over at the Pistons. I don't know what his career earnings was. Let me look up Brandon Jennings' alleged career earnings before he says something. Brandon Jennings' career earnings. I don't know what his career earnings was. He had got a 3-year contract for $25 million one time. I guess he's not big enough. I'd have to do some research, but I wouldn't say he even came close to 100 million. Probably not even close to 50 million. But let's continue.
Shit. Maybe like 450, 500,000.
You got to tell me that was on like a car. Like you bought an exotic car. Most exotic cars actually hold their value pretty well, so you can wind up reselling it and still making the majority of your money back. Or sometimes, depending on the type of car it is, it appreciates. Or maybe you got a specific set of watches that held their value. Or if you say you tricked off $500,000 on a property that was dope or something like that, that's one thing. But please don't tell me you spent $500,000 in one night on some hoes or some rooms. Come on, family. Come on, bro.
And that was off jewelry and cars and like partying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
In one night?
Jewelry, cars, and partying. $500,000. Worthless, probably lab-grown diamonds. Didn't even get no gold. Jewelry, cars, and partying in one night. Was it his fucking birthday?
Yeah, and like one day, I think like when I first signed, or something, I just was like, yo, I need $500K, and I'm gonna just go crazy. I bought like a Range, a Royce, and like just jewelry. Went out to the club, just like, all right, that's my plan.
I respect it. How about yourself, Rashawn?
125. Yeah, on the party. Yeah, it's a big ass party.
$125,000 on a party. These people are idiots, man. Listen, never look up to rappers. Never look up to NBA players. Never look up to rappers. Never look up to NBA players. These people are like children. And I'm going to tell you my experience with these dudes in a minute.
Party on BET weekend. And
okay.
I got the Marilyn Monroe mansion, fucking trucks, food, cigars, all kind of shit. Plexiglass over the pool.
Oh, wow.
Had the whole guest. It was BET weekend 2012.
Marilyn Monroe, where's
that?
Don't nobody-
Sunset Boulevard, up in the hills.
Okay.
Yeah.
And guess what? Everybody that was there, don't nobody even care about it no more. They all used you, fam.
Yeah, they use it for the porn now. They use big ass house for porn now.
Of course.
I think they was using it then. I was trying to get a couple. Hey, I'm just saying, Nasty Nate.
Acting.
But they threw a Diddy party the same day. I had my party, and everybody went to his party and not mine. So
Were you hurt?
Oh yeah, that money went out the goddamn window.
He spent all his money on a party, and then Diddy threw a party the same day, and everybody went to Diddy's party and not his party. $125,000 out the window.
Just remember that.
Oh, well, I enjoyed myself that night.
That's
but
all that's the most important thing.
that shit gone. I need that now.
You're right. How about yourself?
Man.
Hey, let's not skip over what it is that he just said. Let's not skip over what it is that he just said. He said, that's gone. I need that now. That's why they trying to get their podcasting life together. Look, y'all, listen. I know y'all don't believe it. They never gonna sit here and show you what they bank. Maybe Chad Ochocinco, but most of them was not as fiscally responsible as Chad Ochocinco, because Chad Ochocinco was driving a smart car and was riding in fake jewelry. I'm trying to tell y'all, most of these rappers and most of these NBA players are broke. And when I say broke, I'm not saying that they don't have some form of an income or a pension, or they don't have some money put up or whatever like that, or they don't own a home and they okay or whatever. These dudes ain't got finessed out of money, partying, jewelry, cars. They still paying child support. The women is going after their pension, all of this other type of stuff. They not fucking with us. Most, I mean, obviously you're going to have your Drakes, you're going to have your LeBrons, you're going to have your Jordans, you're going to have your Jay-Z's. But for the rest of them, they not touching us. For the rest of them, they're not fucking with us. He said, let me rewind it for you really quickly. Hold on.
That's the most important thing.
That shit gone. I need that now.
Right, how about
For the rest of them, your Al Harringtons, your Brendan Jennings, all of them type of dudes, they are not fucking with us. Because, see, they make their money in a short window of time. They got a small window. And it may seem like, oh, he making a lot of money. First of all, they don't know how money works. So they don't understand taxes. They don't understand child support. They tricking it off. They think it's going to be there forever. They hoping for that final big signing and that big contract. But the reality is that they are not messing with us. I'm telling you, I know. I have friends. I've interviewed some of them. And obviously, I would never share the conversations that we've had off camera and behind the scenes. But I'm telling you, they're not fucking with us in real life. Our window is sky high. Our earnings is going to be sky high. We got a runway that's out of this world. They trying to do what we do and they not even built like us. They can't even fuck with us when it comes to this live streaming. These people are not messing with us, bro. And this is why I try to teach y'all how to be fiscally responsible, how to make sure that y'all buy assets, how to make sure that y'all leverage yourself and be. Listen, if you can stay down for 10 years, which is a little bit longer than the average playing time for most of these superstars. The amount of time most of these dudes is in the league. By the time they get out the league, you're going to be balling forever, and they're going to ball for a short amount of time. In 2012, nobody even remember that shit. Nobody even came to the party. I'm telling you, these dudes don't got it like y'all think that they do.
yourself?
Man, I've been fortunate enough to be with some good vets, man, that's been looked out for me. So I think the most I spent in a night is about 10 racks. And that was on DeLon's 21st birthday in Vegas. So I bought him shit I never bought myself. I couldn't believe it. But I had to do my brother a solid, man.
That's a good big
He the only reasonable one in there. You listen, they got a finite amount of resources that coming. Most of these dudes is not Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. Most of these dudes is going to be broke, and they're going to still be paying child support after they get out of the league, yo.
See, hey, vets, Miami, you see, kicked his ass to the point where he don't even want to spend no money.
Do the bros give back, though?
My little brother?
Yeah, do they show love back to you?
Oh,
now that you
I can't
they
pull
got
my wallet
bread
out.
now?
Yeah, I can't pull my wallet out around my brother, man. I be feeling like
yeah, we saw him in D.C. He was out there.
Now you want to return on your investment and showing love to me. No, fam, that's my money. You wanted to spend your money, now that's my money. Ain't no showing back no love.
Yeah. Legend. The right family, the right brothers.
The right brothers.
All right, so next question. This is from Alante. All right, look, Chad. All right, we're gonna. I gotta talk about this. Y'all be putting hashtag good question.
You gotta hear
what
the money man.
Yeah,
the money man.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I might be the cheapest motherfucker alive. All right, so I don't spend.
Ain't it crazy how the pale skin, the one pale skin, because I don't think he just white. The one pale skin that actually wasn't the basketball player, wasn't the NBA basketball player. I don't even know who this guy is. But if I walked in a room and I seen Brandon Jennings, Gilbert Arenas, Al Harrington, and whoever the rest of these people are, including the host, I don't even know who the guy with the laptop is, and I seen this guy, I would automatically assume that that guy is the one that had the highest net worth. As wild as it may seem, if I walked in a room and I seen everybody sitting on a couch, and I looked at that guy, I would assume that that guy is the one that got the highest net worth. And look at his mentality as he's talking.
Money like that. Going out, I have money, but I like to hang out with my rich friends. Right. Okay. So I just go sit with them at their table, and then they'll take care of me. But as far as a single purchase, I did go out. I bought myself a $450,000 Rolls Royce, and I regretted it immediately because the very next day, I had 7 different employees ask me for a raise.
Wow.
But think about, listen to what he just said. I had 7 different employees, which means that he owns a business and people work for him. And the reason that he regretted it was not based off of the purchase, but the reason that he regretted it was because everybody around him that worked for him started asking for a raise. The only reasonable person that's in the room.
Oh,
So that was way more expensive than $450,000. That cost me far more than that. So I said that was the dumbest move.
Y'all said he make the championship rings. I got you, but he got a business that can sustain itself long into way past their playing days.
Never done. So I returned that motherfucker almost the very next week.
You got to get like.
And he returned the car.
An 88 Honda Accord. Let niggas know it ain't like. It's all I can get.
A businessman told me this once. He said, "Listen, when you're making money, always complain. Always complain about it. Complain about your bills. Complain about this, so your employees don't get the urge. If they see you making money, they're gonna ask for a raise.
Oh yeah.
So like when you buy.
What kind of fucking advice is that? I will tell you that nobody that has ever worked for me has ever asked for a raise. You know why? Because I always overpay them, or I incentivize them, or I tie additional parts of their compensation over into their performance. See, nobody that has ever rolled with me or rocked with me has ever asked for a raise, including the people that create content with me. Because I've always took care of them. And then in addition to that, I've given them additional incentives based off of their performance. So if you do well, if you do phenomenal, I'm not going to benefit by myself. You're going to benefit as a result of it, right? So it's just a way that you got to go about doing business. You can't, what kind of shit is that? Always be complaining about your money so don't nobody ever ask for a raise. You cheap motherfucker. Like, that's not good business. Jesus Christ.
Like, God damn it, the bills, and I gotta pay this, gotta get a new washer, this and that. Just be making up shit just so they're not pocket watching.
God damn it, the bills.
Not for real. He bought a car and then everybody want to raise. Oh, we doing that good?
Yeah. Hella good. We doing hella good.
Yeah. Remember, underdog fan.
Nah, if I get a car, I very much expect everybody else to be. Let me tell you how I look at it, and this is just me. The way that I see it is that if I get a car, usually what happens is I'm the person that's buying mine last. By the time, this is the honest to God truth, and anybody around you can tell you, anybody around me can tell you. By the time I get my car, everybody else already got cars. By the time I come and get my crib, everybody else is already living good. By the time I pay myself, I paid everybody else first. Every single time I get paid, every time I get a check, every time I bust things down, and Rita can tell you from the very first business that I've ever started in my life, through the restaurant, through real estate, through content creation, the whole 9 yards, everybody else get paid before I pay myself first. That's a fact. Everybody else get taken care of. My daughter's stuff get taken care of. I was always taught, and maybe I'm just different. Maybe I'm the anomaly. I was always taught that you take care of everybody else first and you make sure everybody else happy and you pay yourself last. Now, I know they say pay yourself first, but when they say pay yourself first, they're talking about with regard to if you are generating revenue as a W-2 employee. So you always want to budget to where you pay yourself first, ensuring that you reduce the amount of money that you have to pay in taxes, and that you're also taking care of your assets, which will then ultimately take care of you long term, right? So you don't want to align your lifestyle with your budget. You want to pay yourself first and then align your budget with your lifestyle, right? You want to make sure that your lifestyle is then going to be substantiated based off of a percentage of your budget. So you pay yourself first. But with regard to business, I've always paid my people first. I've always made sure Rita had cars and she was taken care of. Leslie's long-term, her tuition that she's going to be doing, I made sure that that was taken care of. That's why it took me so long before I started spending money, because I had to make sure that my assets was in place, that my people was taken care of. Anytime I get a check, I bust it down for my people first, and then I go out and spend. And this is why people be so happy for me that's around me. When Rita see me do something for myself, she be excited, because it be like, man, you don't never do nothing for nobody. You always doing stuff for other people and all of this other type of stuff. When you gonna do something for yourself? When you gonna take a vacation? When you see Q be kicking my butt on a regular basis. And the only thing she be saying all the time is, when you gonna take a vacation? When you gonna do this? When you gonna do that? Y'all don't believe me. When you gonna take care of this? When I give Q a budget, I gotta flip it around so you can see it, because it's gonna look backwards to y'all. I always gotta bring out the receipts just to let y'all know what's happening. Everybody that work for me, everybody that do business with me, look at the very top of what she's saying. We gonna fight. We gonna fight. Stop sending me so much. We gonna fight. Stop sending me so much. You see that right here? And then what I say? You better take this money and keep doing what you've been doing. Take this money and keep doing what you've been doing. Take the budget and do what you're supposed to do. Everybody that has ever worked for me, everybody that has ever done business with me is always going to be taken care of. I always take care of my workers first. I always take care of my people first. Everybody, most people, it's some people that just was rocking out with me and I just sending them checks and stuff like that. I just be sending out money just on some appreciation type shit. They be surprised as hell, because I'm always going to take care of my people. I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to let any of my people that's rocking, if I got it, we got it. Pay your people first. If you're a business owner, if you are a content creator, if you got people that work for you, my guys, my editors and stuff like that, they be calling me. Hey, Rita. Come here for a minute. Come here for a minute. When my editor called me over the weekend, what did he say?
He needed more. He wanted to do more.
He said what?
He wanted to do more.
He wanted to do more, right? My people call me and they say, yo, Give me more work. Give me more responsibility. I don't want to be sitting around. I don't want to have no time off. I want to push you. I want to continue to do things. I got some new stuff that I got to implement. I don't have people that just be acting lazy around me because I take care of my people, and then my people in turn take care of me. And so y'all have to have a different mentality. The way that you get more out of people is that you have to pour more into them. And then if they not good for the job, then they're going to naturally weed themselves out. But you don't have to put yourself in a position to where the people are not going to be successful, or you trying to penny pinch your way to success. You can't save your way to success, and you can't penny pinch your way to success as a business owner. If you ever want to have a loyal crew, if you ever want to have people that want to work for you, if you ever want to have people that's excited to come to work, you have to take care of them, not just from a financial perspective. Treat them well. Ask them about their ideas. Unleash them. Let them be great. Don't be cheap. Don't be limiting. Stop trying to prevent these women from being able to go out and do what it is that they do. They will give you a much better product, a much better edit, a much better performance on their job. Let them drive the cars. When I buy my cars, I don't even drive them most of the time. The people that's around me is the ones that drive all of my cars. I don't drive those cars, right? When I get my tickets I don't even go to more than half of the games. All of my people that work for me are the ones that's usually sitting in my seats. They're the ones that take the tickets to the games. When I'm going out of town, all my place it's for somebody else. They be out here partying and having a good time. So stop being cheap, y'all. Treat your people with respect, love on them, and add value into their life, because they will take care of you as a result of it. All right. So shout out to that. I got one more thing that I want to have a conversation about before we get up out of here. And that one more thing is, let me read the super chats really quickly, and then we're going to get into that one more thing. One more story. Spaces says Tony is pulling a whole Tasha K. Facts. Maybe Tony is going to take over Tasha K's spot. Yvette, shout out to my Yvette, says, I needed that laugh, Anton. I've been in the hospital since Thursday. Love y'all bag chasers. Yvette, we praying for you, baby girl. We praying for our bag chasers. I love you, Yvette. Look at Aaron. Aaron. Let me call Aaron. Because you know me, I got to pull out the receipts. Aaron, you better answer the phone too.
Yo.
Aaron.
What up, brother?
Have you ever complained about money, ever?
That's a negative. There is no complaints.
How do you feel about your compensation?
It's a little insane. I don't know why it's so good, but I don't know. I just look at it as it's good business, in my honest opinion.
And honestly, have I always been, without you even asking, 100% transparent with the money?
Absolutely. There's nothing you hide and no information. If I ask, can I see this? Can I see that? You say no. Anything that I've asked, you like, yeah, I got you. What you want to see, what you want to do. Yeah, it's clear as day.
Thanks, bro.
All right, brother.
My people, they don't have to ask for audits. They not questioning anything. They not trying to figure out what I'm making and all of that. They can see everything. They have access to the accounts. They have access to the analytics, the numbers, and they are all well taken care of. Nobody on my team will ever not be taken care of. By the time I spend any money on myself, I'm always going to make sure that everybody else is taken care of around me. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. My people, they make an insane amount of money. When I say my people is bag chasers, and here's the interesting thing about it. I only align with them based off of the fact that they are part of my group, my bag chasers. I met them in person. They never asked for nothing. They was just like, yo, Anton, let me help you out, Anton. Let me do this. Or, I got an idea. Check this out. All right, listen. Take this money. Go and take care of your family. Go and take care of yourself. Go and invest this money. Make sure and I give them the game like, yo, when you get this type of money, when you get these type of checks, Make sure you buy assets. Don't change your lifestyle. Don't move differently. Don't do anything differently. Make sure that you on top of things, and then make sure that you're taking this money and you using it, using it properly. All my people gonna win. Everybody that's with me and everybody that's around me gonna win. So that's what we rock with. Ain't no penny pinching. Ain't nobody doing nobody dirty over here. Shout out to the mother guys over there. Y'all know who y'all are. Shout out to the mother guys over there. Y'all know who y'all are. All right. Let's get into this last part of the show. I see you. You about to get up out of here? Ain't that something? You about to leave?
Yeah.
I only stayed here because of you.
We'll need a pedicure. I'll be right back.
How long is that going to take?
Probably about an hour.
I should have went down to the office.
Okay, I'll stay.
No. Go get a pedicure.
I can do that tomorrow.
No, honey. I'm just messing with you. I'm literally just messing with you. I'm not serious. And you got to go to the bank anyway. Here, take this too.
Do this have to be signed?
Yeah. No, go get your pedicure for real. Plus, I got a little bit more work to do. By the time you get back, we can go cruising. Go have some fun. All right. Anyways, let's continue, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Yeah, I know what I wanted to talk about. All right. High value men. High value men. So I was able to find this video, and it actually just popped up on my feed. So this was not a video that you guys sent me, but it was a video that popped up on my feed. And she says, high value men are overrated. Let me get the girl's name because I want to give her some credit for reviewing this video. But I seen the title and then I seen like a quick clip of it. And I said I wanted to react to it. But the name of her, I just want to make sure I get it correctly. I don't know if it's on that account or on this account. Her name is Jasmine Theodora. Jasmine with a Y, Jasmyne, Theodora. And the name of her video is called High Value Men Are Overrated. Y'all ready to get into the video? Let me switch myself around real quick. Bam. All right. So I just want to get her, I want to see what she's thinking. I want to see what her perspective is. I'm interested in seeing, how it is that she thinks about it. Apparently she's married, so that also adds into the conversation. And she said that she married average. All right, make sure I hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
In the femininity space online, the buzzwords high value man and high value woman are tossed around a lot. We tend to value what men find attractive because we know that we need to embody at least some of those things in order to attract an attractive quality man and maintain a healthy marriage. I receive tons of comments from women who say that we shouldn't care about what men find attractive, and they'll literally say, and I quote, "You're focusing on all this femininity stuff, but your husband will still cheat on you, and I bet I could get him to cheat on you." Firstly, I always think project much, and then I think, okay, well, come back to me in 30 years and tell me how that worked out for you, and then I promptly delete the comment. So I completely understand why this community emphasizes being.
So first, I can also understand why she titled it High Value Men is Overrated, because it's really good clickbait. And it got me to click on the video, so she's a good content creator. But then she had on the cover of it, I married average. And she's explaining why more women need to marry average versus shooting for the thing that I identified last week, the Derek Jacksons, that probably is not going to work out for you. So I'm assuming that I'm going to agree with this more than I disagree.
Of high value, but I actually think pursuing high value men is overrated. People, of course, have different definitions of high value man, but the most prevalent definition I see online is a guy just being an above average earner with a high status. That's essentially how Kevin Samuels, may God have mercy on his soul, and the Red Pill Manosphere Collective talk about high value men. And
she's such a nice woman, even when she's identifying or describing something that these other hyenas would identify as a negative thing. She just respectfully, I could see why she's married. I could see why she's married.
In fact, Kevin Samuels had 6 specific factors that he used to qualify a man as high value. If you're a high value man, then you, according to him, have to 1, make at least $120,000 a year, 2,
Well, first of all, that's one thing that me and Kevin Samuels disagreed with offline. Was I felt like that number should have been more like $250,000, adjusting for inflation, and the fact that these guys often at times would have families of more than 1 or 2 children. So I think that that number should be more like $250,000. But we're gonna roll with her stats for right now.
at least the past 3 to 5 years.
Another part of this conversation that people don't include is because people say, I need me a 6-figure guy. And the one qualification that Kevin Samuels added into this conversation was 6 figures for how long, though? Because you being able to maintain that then would justify you qualifying for being considered high value instead of you just made 6 figures last year or a couple years. Because then your overtime run out or it's a recession and you're not making 6 figures no more. But again, I still think that number should have been $250,000. But having it for at least 3 to 5 years, we agreed on.
3, have group acceptance from other high-value men. 4, network with other high-value men. 5, have the reputation as a high-value man, meaning having your income and public image linked. And 6, have utility, meaning that you're useful to others. Being a high-value man in this vein has very little to do with character. If a man makes a lot of money, what that essentially signals is, unless he's a nepo baby, is that he's competent, he's disciplined, he's a hard worker, and those are all, of course, valuable traits. I am not here at all to say that you should want a man who's incompetent, undisciplined, and lazy and makes no money at all. What I am saying is that if you are an average young woman in your 20s or 30s and are looking for men in the same age group.
But here the key word is what she says. If you're an average young woman, meaning that you probably don't qualify for that type of man in the first place. And that's why most women have passed up on the men that they already probably should have married because they are average also, okay? Character has nothing to do with being high value. High value is based off of how society assesses you, how you're viewed from a societal perspective. Elon Musk can be an asshole, but nobody is ever going to tell me that he's not one of the most valuable people on earth, especially with regard to the value that he adds into other people's lives, what it is that he does for a living, being an inventor, transformative voice, and I mean, I could just go on and on and on, but Elon Musk's value is not necessarily tied to how many kids he had, for example, right? So character has nothing to do with it, but it doesn't stop women from wanting these type of men anyway.
There is an infinitesimally small chance that you're going to find a man in your age group who makes 6 figures, let alone a wholesome man who wants to be monogamous who makes 6 figures. The average 25-year-old man in the US at least makes $40,000 a year. The average 35-year-old makes $60,000 a year, and this is probably before taxes. Only about 10% of men in the US at least make 6 figures. 10%. And you better believe that most of those men are not that young. It takes time to get that kind of income. They're probably at least 45 years old, if not in their 50s. And unless you want to have a pretty large age gap marriage, I'm talking 10 to 20 years, which most people don't want because they want to experience all this different.
Most people today want the guy that's already ready-made, but they want this guy that's 21, 22, 23 years old to already be making $150,000 a year. It's completely unrealistic. So she's 100% right so far.
Seasons of life together, then you should probably consider more regular so-called average men. I see a lot of women online pining after the top, not even 10% of male earners, but the top 5%, men who make at least $200,000 a year. Women who think that being with a regular dude is settling and complacent. I am not.
And she is 100% right. The culture that we live in, I'm not even gonna say the culture that we live in. A woman's inherent nature is to get the best available possible. The problem with that, because that's just her nature, that's hypergamy, right? The problem with that is that they're not realistic with what it is that they can actually get. So what you want versus what you qualify for is a completely different conversation. And that's the one caveat that's being left out of this.
Saying that money is an awful thing. I'm not saying every high-earning man is unwholesome. However, if money is the main focus or the highest goal, then it becomes disordered. If you're a young woman who wants to get married, start a family while you're still young, and you want a man who's also young, then you should not base your standards off of what the red pill manosphere collective call high value. There is no mention of character, no mention of piety, and if you do not take those things into consideration, then there will definitely be pitfalls. Firstly, when you're with this kind of powerful man, there's a higher risk that he's going to be unfaithful, as he may have a bigger ego, and there's no shortage of beautiful women who actively want to be with him for the same reasons. And
now, this is where she goes off the rails. And again, this is my first time watching it. And the reason why she go off the rails is because she thinks that money is tied to cheating, and it's not. Anybody that's ever been in these streets, anybody that's ever talked to anybody that's been in these streets, ladies, talk to your homegirl. Fellas, you know who you are, and as well as your homeboys. Know that cheating knows no boundaries, especially from a financial perspective. I would say that you're more likely to get cheated on by the guy that's in a plant than you are the guy that's working every day, because the guy that's grinding, that's making $250,000, $500,000, chances is he has no time. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. That is a myth. The guy that is making $500,000 to $1 million a year, that's not an entertainer, right? Because we all tie high value into people that we can see. But it's not based off of people you can see. It's a lot of guys that may not be as visible, but they work 16, 17, 18 hours a day. And it's less likely that that guy is cheating than the guy that makes $60, $70, and $80,000 a year that's in a plant all day. He got a plant girlfriend. I knew dudes that was in the plant that had whole other families, fam. That's whole other families. The one caveat, the one thing that I can identify that she's wrong about is that high value men cheat more. It's not true. I would even advocate against that, right? And I would say that, and I don't have any data to back this up. This is just my own life experiences and the different people that I've had conversations with, coaching calls, and so on and so forth, that high value men cheat less. The problem with this conversation is that we think cheating is tied to relationships. It's not. Cheating is tied to marriage. High value men that are successfully married, families last longer, and they cheat less. I would even say that the woman is more likely to cheat because the guy works so much. That's a high value man. Becoming a high value man is actually probably worse for the guy because he has more to lose and he doesn't have as much time to be able to spend with you and the family. But cheating knows no bounds. It doesn't matter how much money you got. It don't matter what kind of relationship that you in. I would say that guys that don't have money cheat. Guys that got a little bit of money cheat. Guys that's doing okay cheat. And guys that have a lot of money cheat. But then it's guys that don't cheat that fit all of those categories also. But it doesn't mean that because you're a high value man that you're more likely to cheat. I think you're less likely to cheat. That's just my personal opinion though.
When a worldly man has beautiful women throwing themselves at him, being faithful to one woman is...
And just because you look like you got money also don't mean that you got money. So what we identifying as high value is not based off of how you perceive it to be either.
Difficult and less enticing. I'm not saying these beautiful women are causing men to sin. When you sin, it is entirely your fault. But there are more temptations surrounding high-value men, which is why men in the manosphere and red pill collective weirdly try to reason that it's not unethical for a high-value man to cheat or to have a high body count. I'm not saying most high-value men cheat, but there is a higher proportion of them cheating. So even if you do want to attract this kind of man, there is competition. And even if you do settle down with this type of man, you very well may not experience as much peace in the marriage because you are keenly aware of the fact that he has many options.
The problem with women is that they so busy focusing on what the guy is doing instead of focusing on the value that they bring into the relationship. And so they're looking for somebody to make them feel secure instead of being secure. And the part that we really not having a conversation with, I can't wait till Wednesday because I think I got some things that I really want to attack from a relationship perspective. The problem is that the guy may get a woman that comes into the relationship, and she may look on the outside fine, but she's bringing trauma that's not dealt with yet into the relationship, and so she's looking for him to feel secure. That's why you hear a lot of women say things like, I feel like, or you make me feel like, or this and that, instead of being secure and then adding value. It's very difficult for a woman to add value when she's not feeling secure. And a lot of that comes from trauma and things that was there before the guy even came into her life. And so as a result, because she's never dealt with that, she comes into the relationship looking for somebody to complete her. Relationships are 100-100. It's not a 50-50. It's not 60-40. It's not 70-30. It's not 80-20. Relationships are supposed to be 100-100. That means you come into it giving your all based off of the value that you're supposed to add as a man. She comes into it giving her all based off of the value that she adds, as a woman. And those insecurities don't play a part in what it is that you do on a daily basis, which then feeds into the time that y'all spending with each other to not be me trying to fix you, but me trying to enjoy you. And people don't understand it about a relationship. I can't wait till Wednesday. We're going to cook up on a Wednesday. Shout out to Marvin. I'm going to read the super chat shortly.
Who are more or less throwing themselves at him. And that kind of thing would bother even the most secure of women. So, does this type of man give you a lavish lifestyle, status, convenience, financial security, and relief? In spades. But what about lasting intimacy, peace, or a tight-knit family? And hey, I get it. We are women. We value a man who can provide for us with resources because we're the ones who get pregnant and give birth, and therefore we want a man who can provide for us so that when we get pregnant, we can focus on being pregnant and being present mothers. But the transient thrill of being with someone of high value and the exclusive material benefits that they can offer you very well may narrow the scope of your vision. This intense attraction ultimately comes from our fallen desire to seek security in the world and not from God. Money is ultimately just a tool to exchange value, a means by which we achieve our goals. And if money is our highest goal in itself, then our life becomes shallow and we forget its meaning. You also may not have as intimate of a marriage with a very high value man. These kinds of men are extremely ambitious and busy. They're total hustlers.
And that's exactly what we're supposed to be. Society has devalued how men are supposed to operate instead of embracing the fact that, how do you think that this country got built? How do you think that things became so easy for people today? It's not because we were sitting on our hands and twiddling our thumbs and only working 40 hours a day. It's because we went out and we basically took over because we embraced our natural inclination to continue to build and be successful and ultimately be gods, right? And so what you see today is women looking for men to fulfill them instead of operating out of a sense of duty, which they then can appreciate the man more when he comes home. That's why they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, because it gives you an opportunity to miss me. But if I'm sitting under you every day trying to figure out how I can please you, then that means that we both completely out of our purpose and we can't actually accomplish anything because we so busy trying to focus on how you can complete me instead of figuring out how it is that we can add value and then enjoying each other along the journey. So men are supposed to work. Men are supposed to grind.
Only talking about celebrities, even doctors, lawyers, and lucrative business owners work around the clock. They are constantly busy and they enjoy being busy. How often are they going to slow down to be present with you and your family? They may view themselves being pillars of the family in only a financial sense. They may think, oh, I'm providing so much for you, that should be enough, when in reality, you are aching for more of a connection and intimacy. Your children are aching for a more present father who isn't always texting clients on his phone or always has to travel for business. Personally, I did not marry a high value man according to Kevin Samuels. He does not meet all of the criteria for being a high value man. He's high value to me, but he does not have it all figured out yet, and that's fine. Most men don't get their stuff together financially.
That's the one thing about being a content creator, is when you start talking about the other people that's in your life, it can affect them too. And if a woman was sitting there telling me that I wasn't high value already based off of the standards that's set by Kevin Samuels, that might be a blow to my man's ego.
For a long time, most men earn more as time goes on, but in their mid-20s, most men are not very high earners, and that is okay. It does not mean that they're low quality and that they don't deserve a good woman's attention. I do not want to make it sound like I settled. My husband is very handsome, he's incredibly bright, he's a very hard worker, and he's financially responsible, and he loves me, but he's not an incredibly high earner, and he does not have a high status in that.
Don't be talking about my money, girl. Nah, I get her. She's using him as an example in order to illustrate her point. I can respect that.
He'd be pejoratively considered just a regular guy by many people. And while I may lack a high status wealthy husband, he still gives me so much. My husband is an avid gardener. He's actually using the backyard space to grow dozens of corn. He has a plethora of vegetables and finely pruned fruit trees. He can build just about anything out of wood, and whenever something is leaking or broken, he can either fix it himself. He knows exactly where to get a good deal, or he'll learn how to do it himself. Many high-value men are so caught up in the corporate world that they couldn't even mow their own lawn. With this type of modest life,
that's cat. I just don't want to, nor am I interested. I don't want to fix any leaky pipes. I don't want to mow the grass. It's the whole reason why I don't live in houses, but I prefer to live in condos and things like that. I'm not interested in going out and getting no deals. I just tell my chick to just go and buy it. Listen, whatever it is that we need to get, you just go ahead and take care of that. I'm not tripping off of that. When one of my tenants have a problem, let's say that the dishwasher goes out or something like that, order a new one, get that mug up in there, and make sure that it get installed. Yo, I have some what do you call those? Stools. Can I put them together myself? Absolutely. But they got an app for that. It's called TaskRabbit. And TaskRabbit, go ahead and send me that check. And I'm going to call somebody else to come in here and do it while I'm in here making more money, because my time then becomes more valuable than what I have to spend on in order to put a stool together. Or these fucking chairs that are sitting up here on this counter. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's cool. And I'm with her. I'm with her. I think that more women should, you know what I'm saying, roll with regular guys. But you got to understand what comes along with it. And that's basically what she's telling y'all.
Lifestyle, you're also not going to be distracted by an excess of material things because of an excess of money. You'll experience sacrifice by perhaps needing to live more frugally, which will help you grow spiritually. You'll likely be more grateful for what you do have. Plus, many younger average men are setting themselves up for success later in life and will rise over time. I also have a pretty strong inkling that after women get married to rich men and settle into their lifestyle, it just becomes typical. A lavish lifestyle doesn't seem all that lavish when it's all you've experienced for such a long time.
Keyword, it doesn't seem. Meaning that I get it, ma'am. Listen, you live in frugal, you got your guy, he's a hard worker, and he's a gardener, all right? You know not what you talk of. You know not what you talk of. My chick, my daughter, they love this lifestyle. They love the lifestyle. So if you think that it becomes mundane after a specific amount of time, that just means that you ain't lived it enough, because there's never going to be a shortage of cars, a shortage of places to travel to, experiences, bags, shopping, whatever, so on and so forth, people to help, philanthropic opportunities, opportunities to go out and pay for people's groceries, all that other stuff. Look, man, this is a phenomenal life. Don't let nobody fool you thinking that this ain't a phenomenal life. It is. It's an excellent life.
It just becomes your new normal, and you may end up yearning for the kinds of things you could have had you focused less on finding a high-value man, as the manosphere red pill folk define the term, and focused more on finding a godly man, even if you had to settle for a more modest lifestyle.
You can be both. You can be godly and high value, but neither here nor there.
I am definitely not here to invalidate positive experiences that women have had with high-earning men. My ultimate point is that what's truly important in a man is not his status. It's not whether he runs an incredibly lucrative business or whether he earns 6 figures. What's important is that he's a hard worker, that he can take care of you and perhaps your growing family, that he's repentant and earnestly loves and respects you. I know firsthand.
What is this repentant thing?
how attractive lots of money and status is, but that emphatically does not make a good husband. If we remain devoted to worldly things and enslaved to our fallen desires, then we're not too dissimilar to those who completely reject or ignore their femininity.
So she's leaning into the whole spiritual aspect of it.
Our femininity then becomes a shallow raiment whose only purpose is to live in unappreciated luxury. Even in the Bible it says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. Matthew 6:24. Mammon means riches and the worship of them. So while
And so, this is why understanding, and the Bible also says, in everything you do, get understanding. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. Meaning that great things, success, money, phenomenal marriage, character, spirituality, all of those things, right? It also says that money fixes all things. And money is not bad. It just says the love of money is the root of all evil, okay? So we have to understand, and if you want to substantiate that argument, you can look at multiple different examples. Some of the richest men, and God loved them the most, were God's favorite. You can look at Job, you can look at the story of the talents, you can look at David, you can look at a lot of different stories to emphasize this, and that money is a tool, but your lack of it, and the fact that you see people living substandard lives because they don't understand it, can be your undoing. As a matter of fact, I would also say that money is the number one reason why people get divorced. So take that with a grain of salt. She's young, though. She's young. She don't know any better. She a baby.
We desire our needs to be met and we need to do our part every day, God comforts us and instructs us, behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. We must also deeply consider why we even seek to be married in the first place. Is it for our own pleasure or for the sake of our salvation and to glorify the Lord? To this end, I recommend seeking pious men who likewise seek God first in all things.
But here's the key. You shouldn't be seeking a man in the first place. The Bible also says, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Meaning that you shouldn't be looking at all. And see, this is why you have to be careful. And this is why women, as nice as this young lady is, and I think that she's an incredibly nice person, this was a great video to be able to react to. And it's the complete opposite of what it is that we used to seeing from a ratchet perspective. But the reality is that women should not be in a position to give you advice on what it is that you need to be doing, especially if you're a man. They have to be quiet, they have to sit down, and they have to speak on things that's more aligned with what it is that they should be doing instead of what men should be doing. Women should not be chasing and seeking and going to find a husband. They should be waiting and then continuing to build themselves up as wives, waiting on their husband and aligning themselves with people that are equally yoked that would then find them to be a wife. That is what you should be looking for. In the meantime, work on your character, work on your ability to be able to cook, your nurturing abilities, your ability to be peaceful, and your motherly duties, being up under other women that has been successful at it so that you can be successful when and if your husband finds you, all right? So that's the realistic aspect of it.
Ultimately, a devout man who quote unquote merely provides a modest lifestyle is not to be overlooked. Thank you all so much for watching.
So, yeah, she's a nice person though. She just needs a little bit of guidance, but she's young. She's young. So we got to give them a little bit of grace, especially when they're nice and peaceful and they got nice music playing behind them. We got to give them shoot them a little bit of grace because, like I said, she's young, she's a baby, and she's trying to figure it out. Let me read some of these super chats. Shout out to Marvin Watkins, says, I've been in tech sales for a year and I'm now starting to get to a bag. I want to get to the bag though. The reason why I just became a bag chaser. Shout out to the new bag chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Can we get a round of applause for Marvin? I appreciate you. Classy B says she's missing KS's point. Just because a man has the most options doesn't mean that they always exercise them after they're married. Shout out to Classy. He also says, I'd be interested to hear what her expectations are now for her husband, for him to continue to put together that garden. Black Heart Green Paper is in the building, says, Dime, discipline, integrity, morals, and ethics is how you maintain how high value KS. So basically, you can't be a Pookie or a Derek Jackson type of guy. Shout out to Black Heart Green Paper. Hard Body Task says popping in to pay my task. Much love to the chat. Shout out to everybody that held me down and gave me anything. I appreciate y'all. I never asked for anything, but I absolutely appreciate anything that you give, which is one of the reasons why I like to acknowledge everybody that contributes to Cash App, Super Chat, subscribe to the channel. Even if you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, which I would invite you guys to hit a like for the YouTube algorithm on your way out the door. I very much appreciate you. It's Memorial Day. I understand that you guys could have been anywhere except for here, but you are here with me because you know I don't miss. And so it doesn't matter if it's a holiday or it doesn't matter if it's just a regular day throughout the week. We live stream 10:15 to 10:30 a.m. Eastern every single weekday. Millionaire Morning Show, the greatest show on earth. Hopefully I gave you a lot of entertainment, but if I didn't, then make sure that you hit a dislike for the YouTube algorithm, but make sure you still subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Again, link to the Patreon is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all tune in tonight on the Anton Daniels channel. We're going to be rocking out. I love y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, though. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. You guys are absolutely awesome. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.